Welcome back, guys. Really happy to have my guest on today. You guys know one of my closest friends is Kylie Myers, and she keeps talking about, you got to have Charlie on, you got to have Charlie on. So I spent the last week, I've gone through about 8 hours of his content and was very excited to have him on. He is the host of the Shat Show on OnlyFans. And the reason why it's on OnlyFans is because you can't show half the stuff that they do on this show. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and YouTube. He had 1 million followers on Vine before they shut down. He's got 1.7 million followers on TikTok because his content is extremely funny. Please welcome Charlie Classic to the show. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Good to be here. Good to finally get to hang out and chill and talk with you,
Yes, man. I'm excited too, man. The funny thing is, so I have a lot of respect for Jake and Logan Paul, but their short content, it doesn't really make me laugh that much. Your stuff is hilarious.
I feel like their stuff's more geared towards teens.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you said doo-doo, like,
dab, 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 dab. Like, again, like I get it. Like, and by the way, I love Impulsive, the podcast, but your stuff is like, I guess maybe because we're close to the same age, I feel like your stuff hits a little better.
Yeah, man. Like I'm more of a raunchy motherfucker. Like I'm more of, the dark humor and the dirty jokes. I'm more of adult content.
So let's talk about that for people who might not be familiar with your content, because it feels like, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, there's a lot of TikTok content or that type of short form content, and you generally have porn stars or adult actresses or IG models, and you just make these things very funny, awkward, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like, because I was, a strip club DJ for almost 10 years. So like I blew up on Vine because I would just, I'd think of a funny little dick or fart joke and I'd be like, you know what make this video better? Titties.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes everything better. Like, I'm not going to be sorry that I love titties, and I feel like there are people out there who love them too. But yeah, like the short form content, man, I feel like Vine really changed the game of our attention spans of online stuff. It used to be like, oh man, someone's got a 2-hour podcast, I want to watch it. But now like the short clips of the podcast are what go crazy viral, and I feel like just hanging out with porn stars and stuff, what pisses me off is a lot of people, look at these girls and they're like, oh yeah, they're hot, and leave it at that. Some of these girls are funny as fuck, and the stories they have are insane. And I and it sounds cliched, but they're people too, goddammit, and they have good stories, and these bitches are funny, and not only that, they're fucking amazing people, and I like showing that on my page, that they're not just a pair of titties. These motherfuckers are funny as shit.
Yeah.
So I like showing that, and I feel like a lot of people resonate with that, and that's one of the reasons people like my content like that,
Yeah.
Because they get to see with girls' personalities. And like some people might not like the girls' personalities, but a lot of people do. So it's good. I like that stuff.
I really do like the content. The other thing is, I know this is kind of a different way of looking at it. I try to teach, so I have a self-improvement course, and one of the things, I have a lot of clients that are just not funny. They know they're not funny. They don't, and there's a mathematics to humor. And one of the things we talk about is it comes from, I can't remember the name of the book was. It was a textbook. It was like apple tampon. That's how you set up a joke, right? Set up punchline.
Right.
And your 7-second vines were the best example of that I've ever seen, because you have to set up the joke. And then you have to have the delta, which is the contrast between the setup and the joke, within 7 seconds. And by doing that, it was like, it's so modular that you can show the formula for how this whole thing works.
And you were absolutely right. And I tell people that all the time. And I stand by this. Like, I have a lot of followers on TikTok, and it's crazy because I have like 11 pages on TikTok. I have 11 TikToks that I just post on constantly. And it's crazy what blows up. But I really feel that like, influencers nowadays, if I told them that they had to make a joke with context and a punchline within 6 seconds, they would not be able to do it. They would not be able to do it. But me, I'm just ADD as shit. So I sit there and I look at something on the table. I'm like, oh man, that mic cord, it looks like 2 dicks, I could make a funny joke about it. But all I need is that little amount of time. And I really don't feel like a lot of content creators now, if you only gave them 7 seconds, their pages would just tank. Because they can't tell a story and have a joke in 6 or seconds,
Telling the story. So part of people like didn't like Vine because it was shortening the attention span. I liked Vine because it caused people to become more creative.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And what's crazy is I used to spend like 4 hours on a 6-second piece of content.
Wow.
And I was so happy with it just from a transition, because this is where you could edit in the apps and stuff. You just had to time this shit right. You couldn't draft shit either. You had to like lock your phone and be like, please don't let this fuck up before tomorrow morning. Yeah. You know, like there was just so much weird shit back in the day. But now with TikTok, man, I blew up and gained over 1 million followers in like 6 months.
Yeah, you have 1.7 million followers. So you would say, obviously, the Vine content transfers over there very easily.
100%, because it's short content. That's the thing is, man, I don't want you to be annoyed by me watching me for too damn long and, you know, not be funny, but I want to make you laugh for like a good 15, 20 seconds and brighten your day, and you just move along. See, watch a pair of titties bounce. Listen to a funny joke. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You know, I just want you to laugh and move on. You know?
One of my favorite is that he's got like a northeastern accent. The one when you walk around Walmart with, and you have the filter on your face.
Oh, my Snapchat stuff.
That's not, dude. It's so funny, and like you're using that Snapchat. My first thought was, dude, I hope they don't take that filter away, because that thing.
This is what's crazy.
Yeah.
Is I will sit there and I'll spend money on costumes.
Yeah.
And write skits and do the funniest shit. But then a Snapchat of me making fun of my ex-girlfriend buying a sewing machine gets 37 million views, and I'm like, what in the fuck? It's like, I just made this dope ass where there's an odd skit where there's titties and dicks out, but you guys want me to buy a sewing machine in Walmart with a funny filter on my face. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
The idea for the Chat Show. By the way, have you seen Plug Talk?
Yes.
Is that not the crazy? So I have Carmen Karma coming on Friday.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, and no, my favorite part about that was she goes on No Jumper talking about her husband and how her husband bought her a dozen donuts after her first DP scene, and her husband hired a male performer to have sex with her while he was deployed in the Middle East. But her husband's sitting next to her while she's doing this on No Jumper. Then she goes on Plug Talk to talk about how cool it was that her husband was there talking about these things, and then they fuck her. Then they get off the couch, and Lena and Adam, you guys can watch this on Twitter. They just get up and start having sex with her, dude. And my mind is just like, my brain is melting. I'm like, this is Inception. How the fuck is this happening?
It's nuts. Like when you get to like go completely uncensored, balls to the wall, and do whatever you want on a podcast. That's why my show is called Total Shat Show, because it's just always a total shat show. Like, I tried to hit a vape out of my friend Sammy Parker's pussy, and then it got sucked up in there, and then for the rest of the show, my fucking vape tasted like pussy. Like, it was not, it was a fun time, but I was also kind of bummed, I had to sit the whole show with pussy vape.
Yeah, you wanted.
I don't be fucking the girls and shit, but like we be doing some weird ass shit. Like, I have a show called Hitachi Trivia. I have a game show, and I interview and ask like game show type questions by a girl on a Sibian that shakes the windows of my house. Yeah, and it's pretty funny to watch a girl be like, "When I'm like, and what's all four names? What are all four names of the Ninja Turtles?" And they're like, Stephen Hawking, fucking Tom Cruise. Like, it's really funny. But when you can do stuff whatever you want, like on podcasting, you show whatever you want, or in videos and stuff. It just, because I'm sorry, every joke better with titties and buttholes. I don't care what anybody says. You tell a joke, you put a butthole in front of it, 10 times funnier.
That seems to be true. Yeah. So
you want me to show my butthole at any point? You let me know.
Okay, here we go.
This shit'll be funny as hell.
Oh my God. What have we gotten into? So on the
I'm
chat.
so sorry, I don't know what I can't say and can't say.
No, you say whatever you want. So on the chat show, what is some of the craziest stuff you said? You mentioned before the Sibian machine. Like, are you asking them like regular? That's one thing I've always wanted to do, is ask them like the cube root of 27, like while they're you know what I'm saying?
No, I ask them like general questions,
Okay.
like name 3 NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The names these girls will spit out of their heads is some of the funniest shit. I'm like, Jim Henson made puppets. When the fuck did he ever throw a football?
He's like, Jim Henson was the quarterback of the Bills? No, that was a different Jim Henson.
I mean, they might do a little bit better with Jim Henson as a quarterback.
That's so funny. That's awesome. All right, man. So very cool. So this is something, as soon as I heard you mention this, is one of the first things I wanted to ask you about. So because of my job, I have a hard time sometimes dating. Because like I'll start seeing someone, and then I'm like, hey, I have to leave to go to Paradise Challenge with 150 girls or Swimsuit USA, or I'm hosting this bikini competition. Like, Kindly came out, she was a judge. and I'm hosting a bikini competition with 200 girls. Oh, by the way, we're dating. And then you mentioned before how sometimes your job ruins your relationships. How can you talk about that?
All the time. We're getting serious on this motherfucker. Oh, okay. It's this type of podcast. Okay, before we get into this, I'm going to let everybody know this, and I got to let you know this.
Yeah.
Last night on my live and my Twitch and stuff, I ate 2,000 milligrams of gummies. Edibles. And I was on live for 10 hours before this podcast. And today, because I'm a professional, before I got here about an hour ago, I only ate 200 milligrams.
There you go.
Because I'm a professional.
Professional, yeah.
So if I go off the rails for any part, I'm letting you know why.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
Okay, the question. So about oh my God, this is great. This is so great.
I'm sorry.
We're going. Hey, Chase, we're going 5 hours today. So the question was like, I trying to have a relationship. Like I've made 4 attempts since I've moved here, and the other girls in my life tend to end up becoming a problem. Not a problem, but like a distraction for the relationship. Can you talk about specifically? So you want to maybe be in a relationship with a girl. And then at the same time, it's like, hey, honey, I have to go film the podcast where these girls are going to have sex with a glass dildo. Like, how does that work?
It's hard, man. And my relationships have really been ruined by that because I always deal with the girls who are like, oh, my God, I can handle it. I love it. It's so great. I love your job. But what they don't understand is the thing that gets me is it's not that I'm, like, doing anything bad. You know, I use dildos on girls. I do orgasm shows. I do all kinds of stuff like that. But I don't fuck the girls on my, OnlyFans, and that's very clear.
Unless people pay the extra 20 or
I mean, there
200.
might be a little extra spicy shit in the messages. You don't know. There might be.
Go check the messages.
Stuff.
There we go.
But the problem is that what girls tend to understand is, yes, it's my job, but I've been doing this for 17 years.
Yeah.
99.9% of my best friends in this entire world, the people who text me every day about every problem when I'm stressed out or depressed, who I text, they're females.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And also because the industry I'm in, the girls I work with, we're comfortable. When they see me, if they're nude, they're going to jump on and hug me and wrap their arms around me and kiss me on the cheek and shit like that. And sometimes girls can't handle that because they don't understand that I don't want to fuck this person because they're one of my really good friends.
Sure.
It doesn't bother me that they're nude, but it bothers the females I'm with. And I'm the kind of person who takes that into consideration. I'm like, man, if this really bothers her, I feel bad. But I also don't want to tell my friend, don't be yourself. Because that's who they are.
Yeah.
But you're also going to say I'm sitting next to a girl I'm dating. It's 3:30 in the morning, and one of my friends texts me a photo of her butthole and a full set of her photos, and they're like, "Hey, do you think this is okay to post on Twitter and Instagram?" And I'm like, "Because I'm a photographer. I do most of these girls' pictures and their videos, and I edit their sex scenes and stuff." So they text me about these things. To me, it's normal. But to the girl who's watching a movie with me at 3 a.m., a girl sending me a picture of her asshole and me being like, booty hole, that's fucking great. You should spread more eagle.
You should write back, we need better light for this.
Yes.
That's what she should write.
But they don't understand when I say, hey, I'm going to go to lunch with a bunch of my friends, and it's me and 6 girls getting plastered at brunch at 4 in the afternoon. Girls don't look at that as you're working. But that is me working.
Sure.
Because we're discussing what we're going to talk on the podcast, what we're going to do, what skits we're going to film. And it's hard for females. And I understand that. And that's why when I break up with girls, most of my exes and me stay friends. Like Lydia Grace, huge TikToker I used to date. We are still but she's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Because we understand our industry we're in.
Sure.
But it's hard, and I hate to say this, for girls who aren't in the industry to understand. You got to date someone if you're in this industry. I feel it's hard to date outside of it because it's really hard to understand. When I was a strip club DJ, all my friends were strippers. Every girl I dated hated every friend I had.
I did that for 4 years, and the girls I would date, even if they were strippers, they hated my stripper friends.
100% because strippers are catty as fuck. They hate all other strippers because it's competition.
Did you play high school football?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. I played a little bit until I got injured.
Did you ever see the corollary between the locker room in the strip club in the locker room with the high school football? You saw it? Yeah.
Dude, it's all just shit talking,
Yes.
drama, and stupid fights. It's like, yo, you didn't fucking come off the line fast enough. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, fuck you, Sammy, you piece of fucking shit. And then at a strip club, you literally got, fuck you, Tina. How the fuck are you going to use the used tampon right beside the toilet because the trash can's full? Change the bag, you dumb bitch. Like, they try to stab each other and shit. It's the same
It's
thing.
such high testosterone back there.
Oh my God. Yes. And all the dancers want to kill each other all the time, man, about this stupid
It's funny. You're
shit.
probably the only person that I could explain this to because I played football.
get
Played
it.
football and was in because I was a manager for a while too.
They tried to get me to manage. I was like, fuck that.
Isn't
I
it
make
funny?
more money as a DJ.
Yeah, me
Nope.
too. Exact same thing with me. I remember one time taking bolt cutters and cutting the bolts off this girl's locker, and then there was Finding Nemo in there, and that's where she held all the cocaine that she's selling to all the other girls. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Bro,
pretty typical story.
I had there's this cunt muscle named Cherry that I used to work with. She is my arch nemesis. She is the goddamn bane of my fucking existence. I hate Cherry more than world hunger and AIDS. That's how much I hate Cherry. But one night she got a delivery to come in. The dude was just like, no, I need to take you to the back to Cherry. And I was like, you think I'm going to let a delivery guy walk into a dressing room with a bunch of nude women? No, I'll take it. And he was just like, but you got to make sure Cherry gets it, just Cherry. And I was like, it's a fucking sandwich, bro. I got this. And then I start walking and I'm like, I feel like I should open this sandwich. And I open it, and underneath the sandwich, there is a to-go container full of white powder. And I'm just like, no way. And I take it to my manager, and she's like, take it to Cherry and see what she says. So I walk this shit to the dressing room, and I open it up, and I'm like, Cherry, what is this? And she's like, I like powdered sugar. And I was like, this is a goddamn pastrami sandwich, Cherry. Who in the fuck puts powdered sugar? And this is what I did. And I was like, so you won't give a damn. And I dumped it in the dressing room mirror sink where the sink was. And I washed it all down. And she just, dude, the look on her face will haunt me for the rest of time. Because it was like I just poured her soul down a drain. But the girls would do crazy shit like this.
I want to point out something. When the girl did the Finding Nemo thing, I was actually like, well, that was really creative. Like, I was actually like, that's Finding Nemo. You put cocaine in there. And I don't think we fired her. I think maybe we sent her home that day. Let me guess. Cherry did not get fired?
Fuck no, Cherry didn't get fired. I was so pissed the fuck off. Cherry didn't get fired for shit. Cherry has literally came in during a meeting, and the problem with one of the clubs I worked in was it was owned by an ex-dancer. And her thing was, I want to make a club for the girls.
I did the same thing in Austin. I had an ex-dancer as an owner.
Dude, what basically meant is the girls run the club and we're just there for fuck's sake. So I remember a meeting. Cherry came in one day and I was so pissed off what happened the night before, and we were having a meeting and the owner was there, and I was just like, hey, is it all right if for the girls to go outside with a customer for about 11 minutes exactly into their car, into the back seat, and then they, fuck the shit out of the customer, and then they come back in the club and go back to work? Is that okay to do, Cherry? Is that okay? And I swear to God, the owner of the club went, oh my God. Girls, if you're going to do drugs, do them before you get to work or on your break. If you're going to meet a customer, do it on your break so Charles doesn't have to complain. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro? I was like, this place is a shithole.
It's so funny because it's so true, dude. So
people don't believe me, bro.
I worked at a strip club one time where one of the dancers, like back in the 1970s, marries one of her customers. He's rich. He dies, leaves her a bunch of money. Just the whole dream scenario, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then she buys a strip club with the money. And I end up
dangerous.
working for her, and like every day she comes in, and she's like, I want to do these burlesque shows, and I'm like, it's 2002. I don't really think anybody wants to watch burlesque shows anymore. But it was that same kind of situation. Or, you know what? I don't work at a strip club anymore, so I can just say this: the girls who were sleeping with the owner, and then they would come up and they. You talked about this before. We had this one girl. Shout out to Tatum. She was sleeping with the owner. And she would come up and she'd be like, I want to listen to Tupac. This is 2001, 2002. And 2001, 2002, you get fired for playing hip hop in a strip club.
Oh,
now,
yeah, dude. Yeah, you'll get so
20 years ago, you couldn't. I got fired from a nightclub for playing too much rap music. I got fired from a strip club. Not fired, but I got in trouble at a strip club for playing too much rap music. Now that's all they play.
Bro, Gucci Man sent me to day shift for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks because I played a Gucci Man song.
Yeah, exactly. So that's essentially what happened. So she goes up there. She goes, I want to hear Tupac. So I play Tupac for her, both songs. The next girl, what do you think she wants to hear, Charlie?
Tupac. Motherfucking Tupac. Because that girl made money.
Correct. And so then I play Tupac, and then the owner comes up to me and says, you can't be playing this ghetto shit in here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Look at the owner. And I'm like, hey, I can't, because the girl you're fucking is telling me to play hip hop. And now this is the reason why these rules exist in like the military or corporate America, for exactly this reason. And now I'm getting yelled at. I feel like the offensive coordinator of a football team where the head coach is saying one thing and the quarterback is like over here. It was just like one of these situations where like, I got to play what she's saying because you're sleeping with her. But now every other girl wants to play the same thing.
Dude, and it's so hard because I've had the same fucking thing. I'm looking at the fucking manager and the owner, and they're like, why are you playing this fucking hood-ass music, Charles? And I'm like, well, because the girls are making money, and then when they make money, I make money. But if I don't do what you say, then I don't have a job to make money, so I don't know what the fuck to do right now. I don't understand how to make money in this situation.
God,
it's so irritating, bro. And this is the thing that happens, is the girls will see somebody make money to that, and then every girl you tell no can't dance to rap. Fuck you then, Charles. I don't want to fucking dance. Take me off rotation. And I'm like, you know, it's just so irritating, bro.
Cinnamon. Third call for Cinnamon. So where is Cinnamon?
I gotta hear your DJ voice.
For me, it was very much the straight normal announcer guy saying stupid shit, like basically like, hey guys, remember, if you're ugly, please use a condom. Stuff like that. It was like, remember that, have a great night tonight, make sure you don't drive drunk, and Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Good night. That's basically what mine was.
I got in trouble for shit too, because a girl would come up and be like, all right, gentlemen, get up there and get that cash out. You got a girl with a tornado of titties and an ass that shakes like Michael J. Fox. Let's go and throw that cash right here.
See, I loved that, but my whole thing was this. I would bring my friends in, and they would get like dollar beers and just get trashed. This is Austin in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And they would come in and get trashed. And afterwards, I would come down, because one of the things that annoys me is that I can't hear the DJ. I would go to strip clubs, even in Vegas, and I don't understand what he's saying. They're just mumbling.
All the time.
And I wanted to be heard. So I would go out afterwards and be like, did you guys hear every single word I was saying? I want you guys to be able to hear me. And I would say crazy shit. And I would call out like individual clients to get people to tip in. And then every girl I made up like a bio for them. By the way, I still do that at my bikini competitions. This girl's like, and Cherry is finishing her her PhD in quantum mechanics. She needs money for school, and we need you guys to come up here. And I would say it in this like normal Monday Night Football announcer voice, and people thought it was so fucking funny because I would do this. It was like this weird contrast where the next girl was like, and she just murdered her boyfriend and needs money to get away from, to move to a new country or something like that. I would make up these stories, but yeah, man, it was one of these situations where like anything to kill the monotony, because I was working day shift, bro. I was working Sunday day shift.
Ooh.
Bro.
Sunday day shift. That's no fun at all. You got strippers with stab wounds and C-sections.
Yeah, bro. Literal stab wounds. You guys have never seen stab wounds. This is for real. He's not kidding.
Have you ever been to the Claremont Lounge in Atlanta?
God, yes, I have.
They're if you don't know what the Claremont Lounge is, they're popular because they let anyone any age size dance. Their two best dancers is a 500-pound black woman named Goldie and an 83-old dancer named Silver. And she comes out with a walker with tennis balls, and when the beat drops, she throws that walker and she breaks it the fuck down. I watched that bitch make like $4,000 in one night. I gave her at least $300. I emptied out my fucking bank account that night. I fuck Silver any day. I'll blow the dust off that pussy. That bitch can move. That bitch can vibrate.
But so I knew a girl who's really hot, like Playboy level, who wanted to go dance at the Claremont because of the fact that like she was like a contrast. Does that make sense?
Crazy. It's crazy.
I used to call him Shack. Every club had a Shack, a Shaquille, like one, like a club with like even Chicas Bonitas up here in North Vegas. I guarantee you, there's one girl who's like an absolute stunner who has absolutely no competition whatsoever, and she's the only super hot girl. Every club has one super hot girl that'll work up there because she has no competition.
Right.
And I'd seen that at every club.
You almost never see them because usually for me, I think they're in VIP.
They're in the VIP. Yeah, they're always. Or here's the thing. They know that they're safe if they have a client come meet them in a strip club, so they take them to the VIP. So why not go to the VIP of the strip club where they basically own the place?
Exactly.
So they'll be like, hey, come meet me at this, whatever crazy lady in Vegas or some other place in Dallas, and they'll come there and they'll have no competition, and the owners love them and that kind of stuff. Whereas they go to the Rhino and it's just competition
all day.
It's just nothing competition.
So what they used to do is like they used to fly me to different strip clubs to try to teach the DJs.
Wow.
With the clubs that were kind of like failing.
Yeah.
And they would on a Friday night, and they're like, why is our club not doing well on Fridays and Saturdays, and they send me in, and I'm like, listen, you got a DJ who's not promoting specials. You got to. So they would like show. I would also teach them how to pump up a crowd. You can't be like, all right, guys. 2-for-1 special coming up. We got a hot girl coming up next on main stage. Go to the ATM if you need cash. You can That's not a party. And I try to explain to these dudes. I'm like, yo, these guys are coming here for an experience. This is this is their Friday night, and they're spending their hard-earned fucking money to come throw it at your butthole. Shake that butthole, goddamn it! Make that butthole fucking the best thing that's ever happened to him in this entire fucking world. You praise that fucking butthole. You talk about that fucking brown star dancing across that stage and get that cash out. What the fuck are you doing up here mumbling and shit, bro? Get hype. You get to see titties all day for free. Eat a dick being fucking sad. You're a DJ. Get your shit together. You know. So they'd send me. These
You're
places.
like the Ray Lewis of like strip club DJs. You know what I'm saying? Like the motivational speech.
I feel like I'm like the Richard Simmons of DJs.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, let's fucking move. Let's go.
So exactly what my experience was. Okay,
I'm so sorry. I keep interrupting.
We're gonna no. This is perfect.
I'm so sorry.
We're gonna skip ahead because since we are talking about this, I used to joke I always wanted to be a house mom. Like how fun that job would be.
You couldn't pay me to be a house mom.
Fucking
bro.
house mom.
You couldn't pay me to be a house
So
mom.
I agree with you, but the thing that you talked about, I never had to experience because I'm working day shift, like just out of college, right? People don't understand. A strip club DJ is not a meritocracy. You just wait for the next guy to die, and then eventually you get Friday night.
Because you
shift.
don't leave. You make such good money. You don't leave.
That's why by the way, that is why I joined the military, because there was a guy named, shout out to Tony Q at the men's club in San Antonio, Texas. The guy had put 2 of his daughters through college because he'd been sitting there as a strip club DJ for 26 years, just standing there. And then you'd watch him, and this guy was like pretty overweight, and girls would come up and just fondling like, "Oh, I love you, Tony." And he sits there and he was just making a boatload of cash, and I'm sure the IRS probably missed on some of it. And that's the thing, you get paid in cash, leaving the strip club. And it was one of these crazy situations where I looked at him and his life looked fun, but I was like, I'm not doing this for 26 years. And then 9/11 happened. I joined the military like right after that happened. But it was but I would watch this and it was just so crazy to me. My experiences there, but one experience I did not have, because the most girls I ever had was like 40 on a shift, was the blood bucket.
Bro, when I first started out as floor guy, I had to do the blood bucket for like 3
So you were floor guy first.
I started out working the door, man. That's why I have, for doing this for 10 years, that's why I have thousands of strip club stories that I tell online on my TikTok and shit and on YouTube and all that stuff. Because, dude, working the door from then I moved up to floor guy to a VIP host. And then one day the DJ went on a fucking 5-day bender, and it was the owner's son of the club. But the owner loved me because I always made him laugh. And he just looked at me one day. He goes, "Charles, haven't got in touch with my son for 3 days and we can't find a stand-in. Can you DJ? You can make people laugh, right? You're funny. Get up there and DJ. Just throw a girl up." And I was like, really? I could pick the music and stuff? That entire night was nothing but ODB and Wu-Tang Clan. I played Leonard Skinner, ODB, Janis Joplin. I fucking played Big L. I fucking played some gangster ass shit. I had the best night ever. And then they were like, "You're the DJ now, Charles." Yeah. And but dude, yeah, I started at door. I started working door.
8 hours of UGK. That's how I ended up. And 3-6 Mafia. That's essentially, that was my first day. I was nervous. I didn't know what to play.
Throw in some Petey Pablo, you got a good night.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. That's exactly what my experience was like too. Okay, so the blood bucket. Can you explain to people what the blood bucket is?
So, all right. So imagine, let's say, one of my main clubs I worked at, a good night on a Saturday, we had about anywhere from 60 to 70 girls working, okay? Now, there's one bathroom in this dressing room. And when girls work together every week, their cycles sync up. So they're all ragging at the same damn time.
This is not like conjecture. They all sync up.
Yeah, they all sync up,
this
bro.
weekend I'm going in and I'm going to get hell. Like someone's going to stab me. Like I know, and they're all the same. It's so crazy. Like my girlfriend and all the other guys who like their girlfriends work at the strip club, they're all of our girlfriends on the same menstrual cycle.
It's nuts. I didn't believe the shit until I'm like, yo, why is every girl being a cunt fucking asshole tonight? Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, but they all sync up. Now imagine there's one bathroom, and there's one trash can that's about a foot tall.
God, dude.
And they're all ragging, and they all got to put these fucking vampire treats somewhere. And for some reason, the fucking club thinks it's a good idea to have a bucket that couldn't even hold a midget's fucking, a convention's tampons, let alone full-ass grown women's tampons. So this bucket just fills with this sludge of, it's basically like somebody blended a church camp and threw it into a trash can.
Oh my God.
That's how much...
I'd never heard of a blood bucket before, but obviously that has to happen.
So yeah, but they all put their tampons in this bucket, and at the end of the night, man, you got 50 to, let's say 40 of them. Okay, you got 40 tampons in a bucket. There's some sludge in there. Plus, girls are throwing like fucking weird shit in there all night, like Hershey wrappers. There's fucking there's half a martini that they didn't drink. One girl thought a cup was roofied, so she just dumps it in this trash can while she's shitting. One girl she mistakes the damn toilet for the trash can, throws her ass paper in the trash can. The point is, this thing's nasty, okay? And at the end of the night, we pick the fucking newest floor guy, and we go, all right, you're going to have to go get the blood bucket. And he's like, what's the blood bucket? And we're like, it's the bucket of all the tampons of the girl of all night. And we make this motherfucker dump this bitch out and clean it after the end of the night. That's if you just started. And one night, this dude is carrying this bitch like a newborn baby for some reason. Which right when he walked out, I was like, why would you stick this under your nose? Hold it out like a nuclear device. Why are you gripping it to your chest? And because he's laughing and trying to make light of the situation, he trips, bro.
He trips and falls.
And he doesn't fully fall, but dude, when sludge slashes up on your shoulder and off me. At that point, if you're my friend, shoot me. What in the hell are you waiting for? Don't let me live through this. Somebody better take me the fuck out. If I have a blood bucket spill on me in any capacity, that shit got in his mouth, bro. That shit got it. I don't care. There was a particle of stripper blood dust that got in his mouth. I don't care what anybody says. That shit was in his bloodstream. Oh. Wait, was that too much?
No, that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. We joked about this before. That's incredible, man. Just the visuals. I can't even imagine.
We should have a blood bucket in here.
Yeah. No, oh my God. Oh my God.
Somebody's got to clean it. Who's the newest staff here?
Who's the newest staffer?
We got interns for that.
Yeah. So I did this once, and you mentioned this before. So you're just bored working day shift. There's like 12 girls watching football or whatever. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to start a rumor about myself and then see how long it takes before the rumor gets back to me. So the first rumor was that the cashier up at the front door was sleeping with the manager. That was the first rumor we started. And we told them, by the way, we were going to do this. So
nice.
I told one girl, and then it ended up I think it was something like 40 minutes later. I'm like, they're tapping me on the shoulder like, did you hear John sleeping with so? Have you ever done anything like that?
Dude,
pranks at work?
That's the only way I got through day shift. Yeah. Bro, I got in so much trouble once. Because me and this girl named Yum Yum, she was this smoking hot fucking Asian girl. My God, Yum Yum, if you're watching this, I love you. I'll marry you right now. You were the best, okay? But we always joke around and make jokes. And she'd always say shit that was just a real fucked up dark joke. And she had the same humor. Well, one day she was working day shift for no fucking reason. And she went up on stage and there was like 4 people in this bitch. No one's in there. We're just fucking around. Like one dude's asleep. Another guy's probably jerking it in the corner. He's way far in the back. No one's paying attention. And one guy, no one's tipping. And she's just doing her stripper thing where they're barely working on stage. And one dude walks up and he throws a $1 bill. And I just go on the mic. I'm like, that guy just made up for Hiroshima. Come on, guys, let's get those dollars out. And I got in so much trouble. I was put on day shift. J-Lo thought it was funny as fuck. We were both laughing our asses off. And it was the best thing ever. And then I got in trouble and said the day shift for a month.
Bro, I met a stripper from Hiroshima.
No way.
Dude, I was at the Rhino one time, and this gorgeous Japanese girl. She ended up going on a date with me, but I was like, "Where are you from?" And she's from Nagasaki, and I was like, and I'm a U.S. at the point I'm a U.S. military officer,
right?
Air Force officer, and I'm like, she's like, I'm from Nagasaki. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, nothing. I don't do anything. I don't have a job. It was so funny. I was like, I wasn't going to tell her I was a U.S. military officer.
Just brings up bad memories.
It does.
you know?
It brings up some bad memories for her. So this happened to me. This is the worst. So I go to one of the girls. She tells this joke. This is the flip phones are out back at this point, and she goes, "What is a person with no fingers? How do they dial on their phone?" And then she goes like this with her phone. You can't see it if you're watching on Spotify. She's just like this with her phone.
Just hitting it on her nose.
Just hitting it on her nose. And we were all just like laughing or whatever. And I was like, hey, go in the dressing room and tell that joke. All right. So she goes in the dressing room and she tells the joke. She goes, hey, what does a girl do? That she doesn't have any fingers. And she starts tapping her nose on her phone. Well, the busser comes in and he goes, my sister doesn't have any fucking hands, and starts crying and then runs out. Now, of course, me and the busser had already set this up. And he and I are in the fucking, we're in the DJ booth crying, laughing. The girl who I sent in the dressing room to tell the joke comes out and starts punching me. She goes, I can't believe you fucking told me to do that. His sister doesn't have any fucking hands. Of course, guys. Again, it was the busser's idea to do this entire thing. Okay,
that's gold, though.
And so we had 3 stages in the back. So it was almost like first, second, third, and home.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the girl on second base, and I'm just like, "Hey, you doing good?" And I'm like calling her out, and then I'm just like this on my phone the whole time. It was so fucked up.
I would have went on the mic. I'd be like, all right, guys, that's Candy coming off main stage. Everybody put your hands together. Well, if you have them. All right.
It's so terrible, dude. Oh my God, man! It's a part of my life. I completely. So, by the way, my last day at work.
I'm sorry if I'm coughing on here. And I got cotton mouth, so that's not helping.
I swore into the military on the 19th of February 2004 and worked my last shift on the 20th of February 2004. So I was a strip club DJ and in the military at the same time for one day.
Well, thank you for your service. The military and strip club DJ. I told strip club DJs, thank you for your service.
Yeah. So it's funny because when I joined the military and I start flying for the Air Force, I have these guys are telling me stories about, like, they married the first girl they ever had sex with, and they're from these like little small towns. And then they asked me what I was doing before I joined the military. And of course, they all joined at 22. I joined at 26, and I'd been a strip club DJ for 4 years. And I was like, when they asked me these stories, I would just nothing. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it was great because I couldn't relate. These guys all went to like the Air Force Academy, and I was like, yeah, I was sitting there cleaning up, bags of cocaine and blood buckets and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, but like one of the reason I vibe with military guys so much is because when people are like, man, that's a fucked up joke, I'm like, you think that's fucked up? Have y'all ever had coffee with someone in the military?
Yeah.
They'll destroy your soul in one joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I love ruthless jokes. But how you guys tricked her into having no hands,
yeah.
It reminded me of this one time, bro, I've never felt so bad in my entire life. So it's a packed ass fucking Saturday.
Yeah.
And there's girls everywhere, and there's this dude. If you're at a strip club, rule 1, don't sit at the fucking front of the stage or the tipping line. And not tip. So there's this dude with this blinky fucking hat on, and he's with a big group of dudes, and none of them are tipping, especially the dude in the blinky hat. Hasn't got up once. So one of the girls that I vibe with is on stage, so I'm getting pissed. I'm like, yo, she's fine as fuck. Why are they not tipping? And I just go over the mic and I'm like, all right, guys, you gotta get up there and tip that beautiful lady. Hey, yo, blinky hat, what are you, motherfucking Stevie Wonder? You can't see that sexy lady up there? You blind son of a bitch? I was like, you better get to that ATM and take care of that hot lady, or I swear to God, I'll come up there and smack the shit out of your dumb ass. This dude turns around and just like starts looking different ways. And one of his friends walks up to the fucking booth and he's like, hey man, it's his birthday and he's actually blind. Oh, we were just taking him out for a good time. We were gonna tip, but we were just so excited. We'll get some money now. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, bro. I was just kidding. I gave that dude so much free porn DVDs. He was hooked up with t-shirts. I fucking walked to every girl in the dressing room. I was like, I know y'all bitches owe me. I have done shit for y'all. I need y'all to dance for fucking this blind motherfucker out here. I was like, he rub your buttholes on his nose. Like, get dirty with this motherfucker. I felt so bad, y'all. I wish it was a joke. I wish someone had set me up, funny, but this was real.
Yeah, what are you, Stevie Wonder? You called him Stevie Wonder.
I felt so bad.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. so great. Gosh.
It's intense.
It's like a different life. Like I can't even believe I did that for 4 years. But it was just,
and people don't believe you when
Yeah.
you tell them the stories. They're like, there's no way, because all they see is they want you to see.
Yeah.
They don't see the shit in the dressing room, bottles being broken, fucking girls try to stab each other, man. Like they try to kill each other, the weird shit. I had a dude come in, try to kill a girl that he was dating that was dancing over a hot pot.
I had one guy who's an NCO in the Army. He comes in and he like literally grabs his wife off of the stage, puts her over his shoulder and walks out. That happened to once.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because she was cheating on him. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. I can't imagine why she would have done that. Why he would have done that. It's terrible.
I don't know if it's the edibles talking, but that was really funny.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Yeah, we're still friends on Facebook. So anyway, see, so let me. This is a really great point I want to bring up. I am able to have female friends because there's just so many women in my life, and I couldn't even want to sleep with all of them if I don't want to sleep. Like there's some of them I'm just not attracted to. Like it's easy for me to have female friends. Even though you had a ton of women in your life and you weren't trying to sleep with them, you probably had no trouble finding women to date anytime you wanted.
No, it is hard, man, because girls also, my relationships are hard because, man, I'm so, and I say this, I'm so ADHD and I'm so OCD that I'm constantly filming and creating content in any situation. And I'm constantly traveling and going here and going to do podcasts like this for hours. And I don't text a girl back, or they find out that I haven't texted back, and for 5 hours I've been hanging with one of my friends who just so happens to be hot. They can't handle that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for me to find girls.
Well, what I mean is, because you're around so many girls, a lot of them, probably some that you don't even expect, might show attraction to you. They
do, which is weird because I feel like I'm a pretty fugly motherfucker. Like God gave me an average sized dick and made me funny. That's all He gave me. You know what I'm saying? Like, praise Nick Cage, our one true Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
But when a hot girl, because I don't know if you get shit for this, but man, so many like alpha dudes come in and they're like, cool being friend zoned, bro. You'll never fuck her. And I'm like, this girl might be a porn star, but she went to my brother's funeral with me. Like, she's my friend, bro. Like, the fucking her's the last thing on my mind. She just happens to be hot, But I get that shit a lot. But as far as girls finding me attractive, it's weird to me. But
I'm sure it happens a lot. That's what I'm saying.
It does happen.
The point I'm trying to make is, so we talk about, that's why this book is back here, my evolutionary psychology book. They talk about mate copying strategy and how when women see men with other women, they become disproportionately attracted to those men.
You think so?
Oh, it's a proven thing. They've actually done it in other vertebrates also. It's not just Homo sapiens. They do it with geese. They've done it with monkeys. They've done it with rats. They've actually done it with rodents, where they actually put females, and sometimes there's stuffed animals that the stuffed geese they put next to actual geese, and the females find them more attractive. So you see it's almost like part of why women like Justin Timberlake is because of his physical attractiveness. But the other reason,
you just say women like Justin Timberlake?
Yes, or whoever. Do they not like Justin? Am I too old? Am I dating myself? Is Justin Timberlake not cool anymore? I don't know.
No, I thought you said women like Justin Timberlake.
No, women like. Yeah, I'm sorry. Women,
I was like, he can hit those high notes, but I don't think he be rocking a twat under that jeans.
Women, like just.
I mean,
women,
no judgment. You can if you want to, Justin. Fucking strut, girl. I don't give a damn. Your music's great. I'm still a Backstreet Boys for life, but you still rocking it. You know what up?
Part of the reason why women find Justin Timberlake attractive is partly because of his physical appearance, but it's partially because they hear other women screaming
for him.
Same thing with Elvis Presley. Women would hear them screaming for him, and one of the things that I would notice is that I would go out, so like Babes in Toyland, and obviously Kindly and I are like BFFs. Nothing has ever happened between Kindly and I, but we'll walk around and she'll come up and hug me like I'm her brother, and I notice all these other women looking at me. And Kindly does too. She's an incredible wing woman.
She's the best wing woman.
You.
For years, Kindly has gotten me so much poon. It's not even funny. Kindly, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. I mean, I love your titties too. Great titties. But you know that I mean that respectively. I respectably love your titties because I was there before you had those motherfuckers, and you were still in the military before you even got them. I love old titty kindly and new titty kindly. All kindly is great.
Kindly, I don't know anything about that. I've never seen your boobies. I wasn't even aware that you had them. I didn't even know you had boobies. I was not aware. Shout out to Harrison. Shout out to Harrison. Anyway.
Harrison, I love you. You're the best, Harrison.
Shout out to Harrison.
I miss you.
Yeah. Anyway, but the point I was trying to make, and because this is one of the things I talk about in my coaching program, is this idea of like you said with the alpha thing. There's this belief in sort of alpha culture, where it's like I need to let every woman know my boundaries, and therefore I'm never going to be friends with any of you, and you all immediately need to have sex with me, or I'm not going to validate you in any way whatsoever. It's the term is blow me or blow me out. And I have found that to be so incredibly counterproductive. And in my life, because I'll have 100 women in my life and I might be sleeping with 2 of them or 4 of them or whatever, or more than that, it's a situation where it's like, these guys don't understand the simple idea. The term is pre-selection, but that's not a scientific term. The scientific term is copying strategy. This idea of you just having a bunch of women around you making you more attractive to women. Because you can see a different life where, you're not Charlie Classic, but you're Charlie the plumber, and it's not as many attractive women around you in your life. And you're not having the same.
True, yeah.
Yeah. Also being a strip club DJ, I think after a while, like I will bet you that if somebody put diodes on us to check our brain scan and our heart rate and the amount of palm sweat we have and the dilation of our pupils, when a beautiful woman, if I introduce you to Lindsay Palis, you'd probably nothing would change.
Nothing.
Another beautiful woman.
My job and being at the strip club, numb to nudity.
Correct.
So when girls, I first shoot with them and they're like, I'm going to show my titties now. You ready? And I'm like, I just want to film a scene. Like,
I'm basically a gynecologist at this point. What do I care?
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is what girls don't understand that date me is I film the most raunchy. Check out my OnlyFans. Just search Charlie Classic. Raunchy, great, sex and porn out there, and I watch women in lingerie, some of the most beautiful women you ever see. But the hottest thing to me ever is when I'm done filming that stuff is when my girlfriend is wearing one of my large t-shirts and a pair of socks and watching a movie. I'm like, oh my God, my Jesus Christ, you look so fucking good. I'm numb to nudity in that aspect of it. It's the normal shit that turns me on, and the fact that you're mine and that we're gonna watch a fucking fucked up horror movie together.
Yes.
That's what turns me on. Shit like that. It's not the lingerie, and because that's work to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart rate wouldn't change if there's 2 girls scissoring. If we recreated Human Centipede right now, we could do it. I can make some phone calls, and not one damn heart rate will change. Me and you'll sit here, and we could have the same conversation we're having right now with all that going on, and we'd be like, yeah, it's cool. Wait, no, the girl in the back's got to work more. Put in some work. Come on, we're professionals.
Yeah, so I guess the point I'm trying to make is you have been immersed around the sexuality.
So sorry, I go off the
No,
rails.
I love
I'm
it,
so
dude.
sorry.
Don't apologize. You've been immersed in this sexuality so much that it does not affect you
At all.
And what I am postulating is that may be very attractive to a lot of women.
Real, I see. That's weird. I'm actually gonna have to read this because that's so strange to me because.
Anecdotally, though, you've witnessed it. Like, dude,
I've witnessed it. Yes,
I've been watching your stuff. You have girlfriends throughout the past, and they're all very attractive. That's my point. It's like, not to
all
say
very beautiful ladies. Even if we're not together, I still love you, ladies. Y'all are great.
Yeah, but the point is, Charlie, like, I bet you there's a line of like 10, 15, 20 girls that are all stunningly attractive that you probably dated at one point, and you don't understand. Most men do not have this reality, and you have this reality because you're around beautiful women all the time. Does that make sense?
But it does make sense. It does.
You're not trying to sleep with. My point is, like, even if there's 100 of them, and you only sleep with like 4 or 5 of them, they're still hotter than the girls that 99% of men are ever going to get. And my point is, having all these female friends is the reason why you're able to pull that off.
But that's the thing is every dude could have these female friends. All they got to do is
MOAmentoring.com. MOAmentoring.com. Go ahead.
I will literally tell you because this is one of the main questions I get. I swear to God, probably 10 million times over my career. Charlie, how do you get all these hot women with you? I will tell you my reason I get them right now. I treat every woman I meet like my Uncle fucking Dave. My Uncle Dave likes to party. My Uncle Dave's there for a good time. I don't want to fuck my Uncle Dave. I don't have any sexual attraction to my Uncle Dave. I just want to chill and have a good time with my Uncle motherfucking Dave and treat my Uncle Dave like my Uncle Dave. If you treat women like your buddies you're going out to drink with and you don't think that you're going to fucking slide in that fucking goddamn flesh clam later, you're going to have a good ass time. You're going to have a good ass time. Now, granted, if this girl goes, hey, I want you to slide my fish clam, fucking party with Uncle Dave. You know what I'm saying? Get fucking weird. But that's how I do it.
The thing is, if you did, I bet you wouldn't brag about it either. I bet you, do you keep it, if you
like fucking my Uncle Dave? I don't know. Did we film it? Is it on my OnlyFans?
Well, one of the things is like, if I ended up hooking up with one of my female friends, I don't go bragging about it. That's another thing that I found.
Like, listen, I give the internet 98% of my life.
That's my point. Yeah.
I got to keep 2%. And that's my relationships for me. I'll tell people I'm dating, but that stuff's for me, man. I got to have something and spending time and that stuff with the person that I love that's mine. That 2%'s mine. I give you guys 98%. That, that's mine.
What I'm referring to is, again, the alpha guy who brags about all the women he has sex with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But that's the thing, is how you said that women are attracted to me because I have women around, right?
Yes.
So here's my other question to this. Man, and I'm not saying it's all guys. I'm not trying to be a dick about it to these dudes, but I get so much hate from men, dude, who are super ripped and good-looking dudes and just hate me for no reason. And I feel like they're like, why is this ugly motherfucker getting to hang out with this hot bitch? Like, I should be able to.
Yeah.
And they just hate me for no reason.
I'm
like, bro, we would get along, dude. Like,
have you ever seen rich dudes do that to you also? Have you ever had like super rich guys do that?
Here's the thing, man. I have a bunch of friends who are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the reason I get along with them is because the richest dudes I know dress like homeless people.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck, man. And we have such a good time because they don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck what they wear, Versace or whatever. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a crap about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I get along with rich dudes. Rich dudes really don't hate me too much because I vibe with them.
Yeah.
Just because I like it how, like, one of my buddies is worth a lot of money. And we're never out doing rich people shit, even though he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the point.
No. So the point, no. What I was just trying to bring up is, like, I've seen the same thing where it's either really good-looking guys or guys who are really in really good shape, or guys who are really famous, or guys who are really wealthy. When you're hanging out with a girl that they've been sliding in girl X's DMs for 6 months, and that girl is hanging out with you, that's when I get the hate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that too.
Okay, that's the point, because they're like, I pray, you and I pray at the altar of let's be funny. Everyone have a great time. No one feel like their space is invaded. We're gonna treat everyone the same. I've said this before. I played left tackle in high school, the left guard. I would be like, hey, motherfucker. Guess what I say to Kindly Myers when I walk up to her? I'm like, hey, motherfucker. It's exactly the same.
100%.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the point is, we pray at the altar of funny. These guys pray at the altar of looks, money, status. These guys pray at the altar of, of physique. And when the same thing happens sometimes with VIP hosts here in this city. They're used to women hanging out with their clients because their clients are rich, and they see a bunch of girls hanging out with me for my birthday because they like me, and this doesn't calculate. They're like, well, you must be paying these girls. I'm like, no, I'm not paying them. I actually make them laugh. They actually enjoy my presence.
We're not trying to fuck.
But you also understand, most guys can't do what you do and be funny. Like, in my program, the first thing I teach guys is humor and break and report, because it's the high wire act. It is literally the hardest thing as far as networking and communication is concerned. Is there's a comedic formula to it. Like I said before, apple tampon. There's a comedic formula to being funny, and there's a comedic formula to breaking rapport with people, and you have that, and guys don't. You've been working on it for 17 years or for however long, and you're really good at it. And so because of that, these other guys are like, this girl sleeps with me, but it's only for my money. This girl sleeps with me, but it's only because I have really cool places to take her. This girl sleeps with me, but she's not faithful to me, and she only sleeps with me because I give this girl Coke or Molly or whatever. That's a big one. Or because of my physical appearance. These girls don't have genuine desire, and then so it bothers them. And then they see all these girls not only hanging out with you or dating you, but like, I'm sure your birthday party is probably a fucking riot, and a bunch of girls show up and probably put messages on IG story, happy birthday, Charlie, and shit like that. And it drives people bonkers when they see this, that you didn't pay them or do anything like that, and these girls genuinely desire to hang out with you. So the hate is then, well, must be nice not fucking them. Like, that's the response that they have to have. And the thing is, I don't ever want to brag. If these guys had any idea what my life was like behind the scenes, they would shut the fuck up. But that's the thing. I don't want to do that, and neither do you. I have no doubt whatsoever. You've probably filmed with girls on the shit show, and afterwards the girls are like, hey, let's do more. And you're like, hey, I have a girlfriend. That's probably happened on more than 50 occasions.
And here's the thing is, I understand where those dudes are coming from,
Yes.
and I understand those feelings. But this is the thing, man. I'm not rich. I struggle like everybody else, man. There's only so many people who like the raunchy shit that I make and the jokes that I make. I struggle like everybody else. I don't have money like that. And the funny thing is, those same dudes who were mad at me, fuck, you would be invited to my birthday party if you were fucking cool.
Yes.
And you could have a chance
Yes.
to sit here and talk to
Yes.
those girls. And I'd walk up and be like, yo, this is my fucking buddy so-and-so.
Bro, have you ever brought a group
You know?
of girls to meet a dude, and then the dude is mad because one of the girls leaves with you, and then he tries to hang out with those girls behind your back and not invite you? Have you ever had that happen?
Bro, I've been invited to parties, and my friends, this is my, no hate to my friends, but they call me and they're like, hey man, you bring some girls and
Yes.
shit? And I'm like, I'll invite some of my friends, see if they want to drink and party at a pool party. I show up, and then the dudes get mad because when I leave,
All the girls leave.
girls who rode with me, all 5, 6 girls, they're like, okay, we'll see you guys. And everybody's mad at me. And then they started hitting up these girls in DMs. And then my friends are like, yo, your friend that we went to his pool party house, he sent me like 10 messages. And then I have to contact my friend. I'm like, why are you sending her pictures of your fucking cock whistle? Why are you doing this?
It's so
like,
crazy.
but it's happened.
No, let me
you know?
tell you the other one that drives me crazy is like so one of the things that'll happen here, man, I'm about to get in a lot of trouble for this.
Oh God.
Taking girls to a spot, maybe it's on a boat or it's to a table somewhere or on a trip to Miami or San Diego or something, and then the girls are sort of like not literally trapped, but sort of like pressured into hanging out with these dudes. And then at the end of the night, let's break out the Coke and the Molly, and the girls know what's up. And then I show up and I'm like, hey guys, because I only stay in nightclubs for like 45 minutes. I'll show up and I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Fist bump everyone. I'm not acting creepy. You guys having a good time? They're like, oh, it's Michael. And then at the end, I'll say something like, hey man, I'm going to go have some egg white omelets over at Peppermill. I'm going to go eat. I want to go to bed early so I can get up and have a productive day. And the girls are all looking around and it's like, save us.
Yeah.
Can we go? Dude, I've had guys so angry at me because I just show up and be like, okay, cool. I'm going to go make the healthy choice and not go get drugged. And I'm not trying to do this on purpose. And a bunch of girls leave me and they leave with me, like you said. And the hosts are furious. The clients are furious. And I'm like, dude, it's because they were literally trying to like cocaine their way into having sex with these. Bro, I'm calling some people out right now. I'm about to get yelled at this week for saying this, but like it's true. It's one of these situations where it's just one of these things where I'm like, hey, because dude, Kindly's done this. She'll tell you. It's been situations where Kindly's in a weird situation, and Kindly is the best at diffusing a weird situation where a photographer is trying to be inappropriate.
Creepy, yeah.
And she tells me these stories, and I'm always thinking, dude, you shouldn't even have to deal with this. But she is.
It pisses me off because I can't get shoots because these girls get fucking jaded by one creepy photographer.
Yeah.
So when I hit them up and they look at my page and they're like, this guy's wild, and I'm like, hey, you want to do a shoot? And they're like, and I'm like, I don't care if you bring your dad. I don't want to touch your titties. I just want to make funny skits with them. You know? So it's hard.
So it'll be
because
one of
douchebags.
So I'll walk into a club or whatever, and then the girls will go on stage or they'll go to some guy's table or whatever, and inevitably I'll get a text message 20 minutes later like, where are you? These guys are creepy. We want to leave. And I like literally, I tell them sometimes, meet me outside because I don't want the host to see me pulling you from these tables because they're going to get fucking mad at me. And it goes back to what I said before. If dudes would spend a little bit more time working on their personality instead of always trying to win with looks, money, status, you'd find that women would be genuinely desirous of hanging out with you.
Oh,
which is something
100%.
you have, and I think a lot of people get jealous of. That's one thing
And
I
I
noticed.
hate that, man. I hate that people are jealous of me because I honestly, and this is from my fucking heart, and I swear to God, I want to vibe with everybody.
Sure.
And I have friends who are fucking in the competitions where they look like they're fucking bronze and they're only wearing a fucking like goddamn yarmulke cover in their junk. I don't even fucking know what they're wearing. They're like a loincloth type shit. They're my buddies and they work out 24/7. And this is the crazy thing. And like some of them, I introduced them to my porn star friends and my dancer friends and all that stuff. And they get to go and hang out. And some of them start dating some of those people. But it's because they enter a situation without thinking they're going to get laid.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. Okay, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
This is what you need to start off every day. Okay, this is what I do every day. I fucking bust a fucking nut every day before I do anything. You got to get that fucking baby batter off the fucking brain, bro. Like, if you're thinking about texting your ex, jerk that shit, release some pressure. I guarantee after you're done, you won't want to text that bitch. You'll be like, what the fuck was I thinking about? I'm going to get a corn dog, watch a fucking dope movie, and have a good day. What the fuck was I thinking?
Chase, if you ever want to text your ex, what you need to do is think about Charlie jerking it. And then you won't want to text your ex. See how that works?
I mean, if that gets you hard, to each their own. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's a first.
Got to get that baby batter off the brain, man. You'll think straight.
We have women talk about masturbating on here all the time. You are the first man. So
I was just thinking about doing it, and I think it worked.
Look, man, like the desk is blocking you. I wouldn't even notice. Go to town, bro.
Go to town.
All right, I'm going in.
Are you a quiet?
Chase is
are you a
now
quiet
masturbating.
wanker? Are you a quiet wanker?
Stupid loud.
Oh,
Stupid.
I could tone it out. Go ahead, do you?
Okay.
I could tone it out.
Chase, can you imagine if you start like jerking off like right now and we film it right ever and the camera's on you and then you make that like your Tinder video? Like, yeah, I produce TV show, I produce a podcast and I'm masturbating behind the desk. That'd be so great.
I think I might get some bites with that.
I know you would. I absolutely know you would.
Especially with photographer in the bio, you know?
Yeah.
to get what I was saying, man, like, and if dudes hate me, the only thing I could say to you, man, is there's no reason, man. I used to weigh over 375 pounds. Before, in high school, man, I used to not even approach a fucking woman to fucking save my fucking life. I was so terrified of women. I hated everyone, man. I was such a big piece of shit. And one day, even when I was fat before I lost all the fucking weight, I just thought to myself, and I was so attracted to the head lifeguard. And when I was in high school, and one day my buddy's like, yeah, but you're never going to fucking talk to her. And I just walked up and started talking to her. And you will never believe this. I started dating the fucking head lifeguard.
Did you work at Wet n Wild? Was it like Wet n Wild lifeguard?
No, this was it. This was in Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, she was a lifeguard at a public pool that we all swam at. And everybody wanted to get with her. And everybody's always staring at her. She was hot as fuck. Her name was Becca. And she started dating me. And every dude hated my guts, bro. Hated me. And I was like, why, man? You guys should be stoked. My fat ass just got a hot fucking girl. Hype me up, motherfuckers. Don't hate me down. And why hate on me, man? Fucking, if she has a hot friend, I'll introduce you. We don't have to hate on each other. They ain't got to be jealousy, bro. Fucking hype my pudgy ass up and I'll fucking bring you with me.
Yeah, I've said this so many times before, man. Like, all my guy friends meet their girlfriends through me. And I'm like, dude, if you could just be cool about it. If I bring 10 girls to your party or whatever,
right,
and one of the girls you think is the prettiest leaves with me, don't hate me because of it. I left 9 girls at your party, dude. Don't talk shit about me behind my back. And it's so hard for people to do that. And it really, like, it's one of these things where I'm not mad, but I'm so disappointed because we could be friends if you would just like accept this one thing, but it's just so crazy. Like what you said before, people just can't deal with their own internal insecurities, and that causes them to act out. You know what I'm saying?
But I understand it. And I understand that hatred and that feeling, because I'm not gonna lie, I've seen dudes when I was younger, before I like got this in my head and figured my own shit out, but I'd see dudes with hot girls. I'm like, man, that's not fucking fair. I want to date a hot girl.
Yeah.
And it used to make me hate myself when I was big. I used to be like, my fat ass, I'll never get a fucking girl. But I understand where dudes come from with that. So I get it.
Did it motivate you to lose weight?
Now, no, everybody thinks it did, but that's not what happened, man. I just have health problems because of diabetes, and I was real sick, and I lost a lot of weight. So, like, everybody's like, oh, man, do you work out? And I was like, literally, man, the only time I've been in a gym was because the vending machine had Laffy Taffy.
Yeah,
Laffy
Taffies are good, yeah.
They are
really
good, especially those fucking strawberry ones, fire.
Yeah.
But I understand where it comes from. But, man, it made me hate myself because I would compare myself to these dudes who were getting these hot girls. And man, once I stopped doing that, man, everything changed for me. Because when I stopped putting my focus on what others were doing and how cool others were and what others looked like, and I just did my own fucking thing, my whole life changed, bro. Everything about me changed. I fucking started this career, and I just told myself, be like, yo, maybe I could make jokes for a living on the internet. Man, if I'd still kept comparing myself to other people, I would have never done that shit. You know?
Can you talk about the early days with Vine? Did it just take off? Like you started making a couple of videos. What influenced you to do Vine? I'm assuming Vine is where this started.
Yeah, Vine. Well, I did stand-up comedy for a long time.
Okay.
But I did stand-up comedy in the South, and I kind of stopped it because, man, my jokes are really raunchy, and I like to push the edge.
Yeah.
You know, I'll make a joke about 9/11, but some people won't laugh. But my military friends think it's funny as fuck. And they'll be like, oh, bro, I fucking was serving during that time. That shit was crazy, dude. And they're like, and I'm like, but some people don't get it. And, you know, when you perform to crowds like that and you make an abortion joke, which is a huge topic, even back then, before it is now, you'll have a crowd boo you. So I kind of leaned off it. But how it started was I was working at the strip club, and one of the floor staff, or one of the girls, I can't remember, I think it was one of the floor staff, walked up, like, yo, dude, have you tried this app Vine? And I was like, Vine? And they're like, yeah, it's like 6-second videos that loop over and over. And I was like, okay. And they're like, you can show buttholes on it. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And I downloaded it immediately because I already got deleted off Twitter before for showing fucking weird shit. I pulled I got deleted because I pulled
Beads?
winner tickets, like from a video game out of a girl's vagina, and had the winner noise playing, and I was like, what it feels like to make a girl come, and it was like me just winning tickets, and then I bought a teddy bear. It was really good, but it got deleted me from Twitter. So when I heard you could put buttholes and titties on Vine, I was like, no fucking way, this is perfect, something for me to fill my boredom when I'm in the club at night and no one's in here. I was like, I can film funny videos, make jokes. So my first video, it's so funny. My first video, I ran into the back dressing room, and there was a girl named fucking Sapphire who was supposed to get on stage. And I was like, this bitch. And I just happened to open Vine, and I was like, I'm gonna record this. And it's just 6 seconds of me running through the hallway and going to the dressing room. And I said, Sapphire, why the fuck aren't you on stage? And she turns around, bends over, pulls down her fucking panties, spreads her asshole, and makes her butthole go, fuck you, Charles! That fucking video had 2 million views before it got deleted. My first video got me 100K on Vine, and it got deleted. So I had 100K and no videos. And then I was like, what in the fuck? And then I just started posting from there, and man, people love hearing the strip club stories because the wild shit that happened, dude, was they couldn't believe it. And I'm like, I swear I'm not making this up. And then they see the videos on Vine. They're like, oh, this motherfucker's serious.
I've always thought somebody should make like a HBO show about a strip club, but like with no vulgar. You could do it with no vulgarity and no nudity. Just the drama that happens back there.
No, you need the vulgarity.
You need the vulgarity.
That's why I'd put it on OnlyFans. See, I'm trying to
what I'm saying is
redo that.
Yeah.
I want to build a set and do that shit.
Yeah. I mean, those. I do remember the drama. Like some customers coming in and he's rich, and then one girl has a boyfriend, but that's her sugar daddy also at the same time, and another girl sits on his lap, and now they want to fight in the back, like that kind of stuff. You can't believe it.
I watched a girl named Goddess break a fucking wine bottle like a knife and fucking try to stab a girl named Peaches because of the fucking shit. She took her regular customer that Peaches knew was with Goddess in VIP every single night and drug his ass over to a dance and kept him in a dance booth for 10 motherfucking songs while he was supposed to be getting a VIP with Goddess. That bitch went insane. I'm talking about Kanye nuts. She went batshit fucking crazy in the back. Like she nuclear went level 10 and just was trying to kill Peaches. It was insane. And when I tell people this, they're like, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, motherfucker, there were 20 strippers around them going, fight. And like, are you kidding me? And at the point, I couldn't stop it, so I just joined in. I'm like, fuck it, fight. Like, but people don't believe this shit. Half the stories I tell people are like, no way. But Vine helps solidify that because they're like, oh, Sapphire is fucking crazy. Yo, fuck Cherry.
Yeah.
This bitch is eating a Subway sandwich on stage.
Yeah.
Like, but this is the thing about Vine, man. Vine, the reason I loved it, this is what is mind-numbing to me. To me, Instagram's pretty dead.
Yeah.
With Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg fucked everything, and plus it never gets used anymore. But the thing is about Vine, at the time, in its entirety, Vine only had like 73 million users. That's why I like Vine so much, and that's why I like TikTok, because it's not about the oh, look at me, I'm rich, look at this cool car I bought, look at this fucking thing. With TikTok, it's more, you get popular for being yourself. I'm not blowing up on TikTok because I have beautiful girls with me. That helps. But it's because of the strip club stories. It's just me telling a story. It's me being me. And that's why Vine, I loved it so much. It was a community. Man, on Vine, multiple times we'd all make videos because someone needed a kidney. And we found them a donor in like Iowa.
That's incredible.
That had Vine, but never would have found that unless they saw one of my silly videos and then see me made a video about finding this kid a kidney and then sharing it. And it was a community, man. I never really got hate on Vine. I never really got fucking just anger because I felt like it was such a new thing that came. Everybody was just so happy. And that's how I kind of feel about why I like TikTok so much. It's because I feel that community of Vine. I don't give a fuck if I hit the popular page. I don't want new followers. I will vibe with the million people that are cool enough to follow me. As long as they see my videos, I don't give a fuck. 1.7 million is enough for me.
Yeah.
To me, that's crazy. People take the following thing too seriously. To me, it's mind-blowing every day. Do you know what 1.7 million? That's more people watching me a day than every football stadium filled in the country. That's humbling as shit. Why would I need more? That's not enough for you? Fuck you. I don't need more. That's crazy. But like, that's the thing when people bring up Vine and everything, it helps me so much because I'm like, yo, man, those million people that followed me back in the day, like, those are my ride or dies. When someone comments, man, I followed you since Vine, hits me in the heart.
Yeah.
I'm just a weird person. I think my edibles are kicking in. Am I getting emotional?
Yes, a little bit.
I'm so sorry, guys. I start ranting and rambling.
It forces you to be creative. I'm friends with Andrew Batchelor, King Batch.
Oh, Batch is such a cool guy. I love him, man.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy.
And the way he had, like, when I go back and watch the old stuff that he does and the stuff he does now. And by the way, the other thing I love about Andrew Batchelor is he hasn't stopped making short form content, even though now he's on TV shows and does stuff like that.
Video games, everything.
Absolute favorite one he's ever done. Have you seen the one where he's like, I really hate Andrew Tate. He's just a terrible person, and we really all should just respect women and come together. And there's these two girls like massaging him and like preening him like the whole time. Andrew Tate's such a horrible piece of shit, and it just keeps focusing on, and it gets right to his face. He goes, I want to fuck now. It is so funny, dude. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny.
I haven't seen
Dude,
that.
yeah, look, that was my favorite. The other one was where he walks into this white girl's house, and he goes, hey, I just walked into this white girl's house, and I showed her that I was verified on Instagram, and she just let me walk in, and I was like, hey, let me do a photo shoot. So the girls just like start shooting. He's like narrating the whole thing. He's like, anything I wanted, just because I'm famous. They let me do anything I want. It's like, I have 25 million followers on TikTok, and she's like posing for him. And then his homeboys walk in the door after him and just rob her, like steal all of her shit, and then just walk out. It was the best TikTok I've ever seen, dude. Andrew Batchelor makes King Batch. He makes the funniest shit. I actually found out about him because of Black Jesus, which was one of my favorite shows. I'd never heard of Andrew Batchelor, and then I saw him and then became friends with him because he comes to some of my events. But it forces you to be creative in such a short amount of time. I think that's what makes it so awesome too. You're providing value every time you do 6 seconds.
And like, are you talking about Vine or just short form?
All the short form content, yeah.
And that's what I like about doing short little things. And it's because I want to make you laugh and then brighten your day real quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take up too much time. I just want you to giggle with me, you know? But Batch is great at that too, because I mean, like that backflip though, you know, when he used to do that shit on Vine or the quick comedy. And I think that's why Viners are a little different. And I'm not like trying to ego boost us, but we're just really good at, if you put us in a room with these football helmets that's behind me, even this little shit right here, we'll figure out something. Yeah. Because it only takes 6 seconds. That's why I get so pissed at every single person who doesn't create. If you have a profile, create. Yeah. It takes 6 fucking seconds. If you sit there and be like, I can't do TikTok because I just don't have time in the day, you're a lying sack of shit. You don't have 2 minutes of 24 hours to tell a silly story or show a painting you did or fucking tell a funny joke or something you come up with. Fuck off. You have time.
Can you talk about content getting taken down? So there's stuff, I have a social media manager, and there's stuff we will post on Instagram, but we'll not post it on TikTok. Like it was so Kindly and we kind of did this sort of experiment because she kept losing her TikToks, and mine got up. You know, the one I have now is at 50,000, but like before I had one that got up to 30,000 really fast. And we would post I would post a similar video. We were at this thing in California, and I would post the same video. She posted the same video. Hers would get taken down, and mine wouldn't. And the theory was because I'm a man, Like I was not being scrutinized the same way she was. And she said if she ever showed her butt straight on from the back, immediately the video was taken down.
Okay.
Have you seen anything like this?
With me versus a man versus a
A
woman.
man versus woman, or that type of content being taken down. Like
So we're about to get serious. I gotta take my jacket off, right? I know I look like a white trash shredder from Ninja Turtles, but you know. By the way, getting taken down. I'm gonna do shameless self-promotion. You go to MrCharlieClassic.com. This is our shirt that says 2 girls, 1 cup was art, and I stand by that.
I still haven't seen the video, but I have made my friends watch it while I watch them. I've still never seen the video.
You have to see it.
No, I make my friends, hey, watch this video.
It made me the man I am today. It mentally scarred me. Without that video, it wouldn't be who I was today. Yeah. Okay, but sorry. So the thing is with getting taken down, a lot of content creators stop calling me about this problem because I don't lie to people and I don't bullshit. I've been doing this for 17 fucking years. I was there at the beginning of Vine. I was there when it gone. I was there when YouTube started. I've fucking been pushing all this shit for 17 fucking years. I'm here to tell you that any social media is going to have rules.
Yeah.
And I learned a long time ago to walk that very thin line. And I get shit taken down a fuck ton. And so do my friends who are girls. But when the girls call me and they're like, but I seen this girl doing it. And I'm like, this girl is verified, has 42 million followers, and I guarantee has a TikTok rep that she talks to.
Yes.
And she also pays because she makes so much money from her OF that she's trying to promote like you. She can take that money and boost a post and pay $5,000 to TikTok a month. You think that a fucking company getting $5,000 residually every single week or every month from somebody, they're going to delete their page? That'd be a dumb business decision.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I get stuff taken down, and yeah, it pisses me off. But like you said, kindly, this experiment y'all did. The reason it got taken down is because it says very clearly in the terms and agreements, you can't sexualize a body part. Now, if she were to do the same thing facing towards the camera and do a dance and turn real quick while dancing, not stop on her ass and keep turning and keep dancing, her video won't get taken down because she's not focusing on one part. But you start the video with an ass, you're sexualizing a body part. A girl rubbing her own chest is her stimulating her own nipples. As stupid as it might be, they look at that as a sexual act. Now, granted, you got to think about it this way. Instagram every day has anywhere from 85 to 91 million users active a day using it. TikTok has 1.6 billion. If you're a content creator, I understand that you can't do as much on TikTok, but you're taking the #1 most used app in the world and saying, my job is to create and put content out, but fuck the #1 most used app in the world because I got to follow rules. If you don't follow rules, don't listen to shit the government says. Don't speed, motherfuckers. Fuck a cop. Keep fucking driving. Like if you don't want to follow rules, what the fuck you talking about? You live in a country where the fucking government tells us everything we can't. There's a new law passing every motherfucking day, but you want to bitch about a fucking app that you signed up for and said yes when I agree. You want to get mad because you broke their rules. Yeah. So content creators get mad at me when I tell them this, but I'm like, well, fuck TikTok.
They expect you to get angry with them.
And I'm like, no. And I'm like, if you want to post that shit, that's what Twitter's for. There's literally an app that says you can post your tits free and clear, and you go, well, I don't want to send people to that app. Everybody else can do it on TikTok. Hey, guess what? Work smarter, not motherfucking harder. Yeah. You know, and when I tell creators this, they get mad at me, and I'm just like, yo, I lost my account. I did dumb shit, but I got it back. And guess what? That's why I have 11 TikToks. Because if I lose one, I'm the type of person. I post videos. I got 1.7 million followers. Some of my videos get 2,000 views. And guess what? I post another video after that, and another one, and one tomorrow, and the next day. Because I don't care. Yeah. I just had 3,000 people laugh. That's an entire concert venue. Yeah. I just had laugh at one of my jokes, and you want me to go, man, the internet's mad at me. No. I'm happy for those 3,000 people to watch, you know? But that's like with stuff getting taken down, it does irritate me, you know, because I see other people do it. But I've been doing this for so long, that's the name of the game. You got to learn to adapt. And when a new app comes out, just like Vine, TikTok will no longer be popular. When that new app comes out, I'll be grinding on there.
Yeah.
Because that's my fucking job, is to entertain you motherfuckers as much as I can. So when there's a new app that pops off and you want to laugh at some shit, you better believe I'm going to be making some fucking tit jokes on there. You know, so I'm sorry I ran.
No, it's perfect. Actually, let's talk about this because let's talk about the following the rules thing. You had so you were born in Anniston, Alabama.
I was raised in Anniston, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. Raised in Anniston, Alabama.
And then when did you
Small
end up?
town.
Where was the strip club thing? Where was that?
I worked in many different strip clubs.
Okay.
In
Were you in Nashville? Is that?
Nashville was one of my main ones. I was
Okay.
at an old Deja Vu there. Fuck Deja Vu and fuck Hustler and fuck you, my old manager who used to fucking be a fucking prick. You look like a thumb with googly eyes and you'll never fucking make it as anything, you piece of shit.
All right. So here's the reason why I want to ask you this. Obviously, when COVID hit, the rules, the clampdown was different in different places. Obviously, it was way more strict in California than it was in, say, Florida.
See, but I wasn't DJing when COVID was around.
Right.
Right.
But what I do want to talk to you about is so the thing is, the people in Nashville are not exceptionally progressive, right?
No.
I'm not trying to make a
They
judgment
still
call.
wear affliction shirts and think it's cool. That scares me.
Here in Vegas, we had stopped all the nightclubs. People were wearing masks in the casinos, but there were house parties that people were having. Now, nothing like the house party that you mentioned before in Nashville that you had made some comments of. First off, I want you to talk about what happened in that situation. But secondly, because I know some of your friends were involved. Secondly, I want to talk. I'm curious what the reaction of your reaction was from those people.
Here's the thing, and I don't talk about it too much because, like, I was one of the motherfuckers who was like, put on a mask. And nobody really who didn't follow me, most of the hateful comments I got were from people who have no idea who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And just saw my video on a For You page because it got popular because I was stating my opinion, which is what I do all the fucking time. I'm yelling my opinion about all kinds of shit, from I think 2 girls, 1 cup was art to fucking what I think about wearing a mask. But no one took the time to know that I'm diabetic. I have gastroparesis. I have one lung that doesn't work fully properly because I had an asthma attack when I was a kid and had to be in like an asthma fucking tent for a week. And that my uncle was on oxygen, got COVID, and passed away. And, you know, I had to go through an experience of my aunt having to not be in a hospital with her dying husband.
Yeah.
And when people were like, look, I don't want to wear a mask for 10 minutes in Walmart, it made me angry. And I made a video about it. And that's my opinion and my right. And if you don't want to wear a mask, go do you, boo-boo. Half my family in fucking Alabama hate me because I was like saying wear a mask. And I'm like, our uncle just died. Fuck off.
I didn't know this part of the story, but I knew this part of the story because you grew up in Alabama and you were in Nashville. I figured that I was like, because you said wear a mask, therefore you're a socialist Biden supporter who prays to the reptile people who live underneath Antarctica. It's just crazy to me. It's
very
like
true that he said that.
It's so crazy to me. It's like because the Illuminati and the Rothschilds send you a check every day, and that's the reason why you made the video, because you've been paid off. And I'm just like, dude, why can't there be like some kind of middle ground? And it was just so nuts to me, because the whole thing is the way the masks were sold, right? This idea that the mask was going to protect you from COVID, that was sold incorrectly. What the masks do is when you have COVID and you cough, your sputum doesn't get on somebody else.
Exactly.
That made sense to me. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it wasn't like this thing that I wanted to get into fights with family members over. And it was so preposterous to me, this whole fucking crazy idea. And like when you said that, and you were in Nashville, I was like, oh man, I can't imagine the kind of pushback you got from that.
And that's the other thing. My mom is a fucking nurse in the ER.
Yeah.
Of course my mom's going to be a nurse pushing fucking shit up. And I listen to my mom. She's a fucking nurse. She's
everyone that I've talked to that was in an ER told me unequivocally that it had helped them, and they were wearing a mask. And when they saw people who had got vaccinated, that the people who were unvaccinated had worse symptoms. And when I bring that up, that there were people in the ER who saw that, what I'm saying is an anecdotal thing. The fact that you're angry at me for making that statement is fucking crazy to me. I'm just making a statement. Well, I had an ER doctor come on here and he was like, yeah, I've had to deliver bad news to people who weren't vaccinated because their children were dying at a disproportionate rate for these pregnant women. And then they were like, no, but what about the one thing that, you know, in Joe Rogan, when the guy had myocarditis, and we're like, well, that study was disproven. And they're like, no, you're a Biden supporter. I'm like, actually, no, I think Biden's a moron. But it's just so crazy to me. Like, there cannot be any middle ground. It's like anyone who was supported any of this stuff, you just, oh my God, bro. It was one of the craziest things. And here's the thing. It was the same people who were telling me that they were in favor of free speech. And then as soon as you say that kind of stuff, like there were like physical violence against you that they would threaten. And I was like, man, why can't we just have a normal discussion about this? And we never could.
I've had dudes in grocery stores come up and a dude grabbed my mask and tried to pull it off my face. And I'm just like, yo, bro, have you lost your fucking mind?
Yeah.
Do I look like the kind of person who won't pistol whip your teeth out of your head? But like the other thing is with me, it just got so crazy, like you said, how people got so angry. And I'm like, bro, of course, okay, I get it. I yelled at you to wear a mask. I have family members who were sick.
Sure,
of
makes
course
sense.
I'm angry.
Makes sense, yeah.
The other thing is, man, I've been to other countries, Japan.
They
fucking
all wear
these
masks, yeah.
Yo, and this is what's crazy. I've been on a train in Japan, and a dude was wearing a mask, and a older elderly lady sat next to him. Only person on the train with a mask. This is before COVID. This was years and years ago. He was wearing a mask because he had a cold, and when the old elderly lady sat down, he got up and went to the other side of the train when nobody was sitting, so he didn't get anybody sick. He was wearing a mask because he had a common cold, and he did not want to get anyone else sick. You think a motherfucker in America will put a mask on a subway because they have a cold to make sure no one else on the subway? Hell no, this motherfucker's shitting in the subway. They're fucking drawing on shit with crayons and permanent markers. They don't give a fuck if anybody gets sick. And that's what's mind-blowing to me, because regardless of what side you... Listen, I don't support Biden. I don't support fucking anybody. Fuck every president that ever fucking was a person. Fuck the government. I don't want anybody telling me what the fuck to do. But the thing is, every year we got to go, do I want to eat a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich with ketchup? And usually we have to pick the better option. It's not my fucking fault. I hate every president. The government sucks.
Well, I thought the part of the problem was this, right? Part of the problem was when Biden put that big, you remember that big, huge blue mask he wore during his presidential campaign?
I mean, dude, after I got so angry, I literally just turned everything off, man. I mean, but I remember him wearing a mask. And
but here's the thing. He would go up, he was doing a commercial for his campaign, and it wasn't a blue mask, bro. The mask, it was like that thing that Hannibal Lecter had on, you know, during the fucking Silence of the Lambs. It covered his whole face, and it was bright blue. And I was like, this is going to cause a war. Like the fact that he is trying to use this mask to make a political, I'm arguing against my previous point. The fact that they were using the mask to make a political point was actually going to make people in Florida be like, fuck Biden, now I won't wear a mask. And now we had this whole situation where it's like, whether or not you wore a mask or not was a function of your political ideology, regardless of what you thought about, I don't know, biology. And things got so completely out of hand because of that. And I'm like, hey, I just care about the science. I just want to talk about the science. Oh, you care about the science? You're a fucking communist. I'm like, dude, what is going on here?
It just kills me, because the same people who get mad about masks, and granted, you don't want to wear a motherfucking mask. I don't give a fuck. You don't want to get a goddamn fucking measles shot or anything. I don't give a fuck.
Masks do not protect you from COVID. They keep you from spewing out your COVID on other people.
They also would keep you spewing flu.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a cold. Like, why do you think doctors do that when they got your body cut open, so they don't get spit in your fucking lungs or fucking open organs?
Yes.
Anyways, but I'm real baked. What were we talking about?
Anyway, I was curious what your friends in Nashville, or your friends in Alabama, what their reaction was like when you made that.
So here's the sad thing, man. And this is why I hate talking politics, and I really hate every fucking president. I mean that, man. I just don't like the government, period. I think all politicians are crooked pieces of shit. Every governor, every politician.
You did mention Donald Trump is a reptile.
I mean, everybody. Biden might be, Trump might be, the whole government might be. Who knows? They might be fucking aliens. Who fucking goes? Anything's possible. I mean, Nickelback still makes music. Anything's fucking possible. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, they still.
God, I hated Nickelback at the strip club.
That's why I hate Nickelback, and no one understands.
Terrible.
One girl named Barbie every day.
This trashy dad rock that all the girls wanted to hear.
Oh, what about this song?
All day.
What about, hey, you're crazy bitch, and you're so good and on top of it. I mean, I'm doing you out. Oh my God, I hate Nickelback and the fucking dad butt rock.
Oh, dude, dad rock was so big in the early aughts, and that's all these strippers wanted to hear, and now I hate this music so much.
But what we were talking about before my dumb ass goes, you start singing karaoke. In Nashville, here's the thing, man. I don't like talking politics because I really fucking hate everybody. But you always just got to make a choice of the two most shit fucking choices. It's just the thing. But the fact that people fucking go politicians, I'm like, you guys know the government sucks, right? Y'all wear T-shirts of these motherfuckers. What the hell y'all doing? What did this crazy shit? But that just blows my mind. So in Nashville, it kills me because most of my family in Alabama hate me.
Really?
Because they disown me. You got to understand, like, they don't care that I love guns. They don't care that I don't want my guns taken away. They don't care. But they get so mad when I say certain things like, I don't give a fuck if you got a clit or a dick, or if you want to suck a clit or suck a dick. I don't give a fuck what you do in your bedroom. Can we just have a fucking blunt together? I don't give a fuck if you're in drag. I don't give a fuck what color you are.
You're saying your family back home is upset with you because you don't hate trans people?
Because I make comments supporting things.
Okay,
like,
got it.
I don't give a fuck about drag shows.
Yes.
I don't think they're a bad thing. I had a fucking blast at drag shows.
Shout out to Kylie Myers who dragged me to a show. I had no idea, dude. She goes, hey, do you want to go?
They're fucking fun, bro.
She goes, do you want to go to drag brunch? And I'm like, was they drag you to brunch? She goes, no, yeah, that's exact. She goes, yeah, they just drag you to brunch.
Kylie's the best.
Kylie goes, they just drag you to brunch. So it's like, all right, I'll go have brunch. And then they bring up this incredible, like, dude, I'm eating waffles and like chicken. This is terrific. And then it's a drag show. And I was like, oh, this is a drag brunch. Okay, got it. Thank you, Kylie.
And it's other little stupid things that don't matter that family shouldn't hate you about.
Of course.
Like when I was like, I don't give a fuck if the new Little Mermaid's black. I think that's pretty fucking cool. Like what the fuck? Who cares?
Shout out to Corliss Valerian.
and then my cousin texted me and he goes, I just can't believe you said that online, bro. Like you're pushing a narrative. And I'm like, it's a Disney movie.
Like
it's a fucking Disney movie,
It is a
bro.
narrative. It's a Disney. The Disney movie is a narrative.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna sing the shit out of the songs like Under the Sea. That's a banger. I'm not gonna sing that shit. Who gives a fuck? But that shit is what makes them hate me and it kills me. So when it came to the Nashville thing and all this stuff, it sucked about some of the reactions I got because I was pretty mad. Because I have a lot of friends in Nashville. And when this party went on during COVID.
Can you specifically, which party you're talking about? It was like during COVID and it was like, I'm trying to remember.
There was a party house,
It's
right?
like August of 2020 or something like that, right?
Yeah. And it was like right when the thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I got so mad is because I saw my buddy, which I know my buddy, and he does wild shit. I will never put that past him. I'll never angry at him for the wild shit he does. But it's the time and place he does it. And he was eating the girl's ass in a window at a giant party with hundreds of people in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, I've seen the video, yeah.
And granted, I'm not gonna lie.
I may know both people in the video too.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was a funny fucking video.
Yes.
But the thing is like the same thing, like it angered me just because the fact whether you want to have a party without mask or whatever, that's you. If you get sick, that's on you. I don't care. I'm not going, so it doesn't bother me. What bothered me is they cut to social media and there's a story the next day of a dude who lived across the street who goes, I haven't been downtown in 3 fucking weeks. I've had to stay in my house and I thought I was fucking safe, but then I try to come out to take my trash cans out and there's fucking hundreds of people just gathered around my house. And my best friend just fucking died of COVID.
That's crazy.
And he starts crying and talking about this on TV. And what do some of these people do? Screenshot that and share it on social media with laughing emojis. With this story of an ass getting eaten. And I'm like, yo, bro, I get it. It's funny. And there's a time for it. If you would have done it in 2022 when we're fucking almost through the pandemic and people are like, if you're vaccinated, you're vaccinated. If you're not, fuck it. If you would have done it then, right now, I would have fucking shared the story and been like, these crazy motherfuckers. But the fact to take that dude who, whether he was lying or whether he was being truthful, but to share it with laughing emojis, that pissed me off. Not only that, because of that party, the bars that were still open till 3, where you could go in, sit at a table, get a beer, my friends worked at. And because of that party, Nashville changed the fucking ordinance and all the bars had to shut down at a certain time, like 10 or 9 p.m. or some shit like that. And a bunch of my friends lost their fucking jobs.
Yeah.
They were barely getting by during the fucking pandemic. And because some fucking motherfuckers wanted to party, and I get it, I love to party.
Me too, yeah.
But what, because you picked this time and this fucking day and age, I get it, but maybe I'm just different. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you support. I don't give a fuck you wear a mask. If I see you fucking fall, I'm going to help you up.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. But that's things, it just hurt me because I'm like, yo, some of these people at these parties who just made my friends lose their fucking job because they want to have a good time, which I understand, but think things out. You know the people who just lost their job.
Yeah.
And you don't give a fuck. And that pissed me off.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we weren't doing a bunch of mansion parties here in Vegas during COVID.
Yeah.
We did. The thing is, we didn't tell anybody about it. We didn't film them.
And you did it between you and your friends.
And we did it between our friends, and we didn't
choice.
go outside. And during the party, we weren't, like trying to make political statements. It was just one of these things where it was a bunch of young people.
And I don't think they were either. I don't think they were trying to do
fully
political
knew that there was a chance I was going to catch COVID by going to some of these parties. I fully knew that. So I kind of get where you're going to. Yeah, whereas this kind of felt like it was a political statement. Is that what you were saying?
No, I feel like they weren't making a political statement.
Okay.
Listen, I know the people who party.
Yeah.
The guy who owns the house, whatever.
Yeah.
They like to party.
Yeah.
And in no way did I ever think they were making a political statement at all. I just thought, yo, you got to have some common sense, man. Like, some people are really hurting.
Sure.
And whether you believe this or not, people lost their grandma. People in Nashville, and this is your city, which you say you love, this city's hurting. And they didn't need a fucking Band-Aid ripped off like that when they're trying to fucking heal some shit and figure shit out. Regardless of what you believe, regardless of what science you think or whatever you feel, at that time I was just angry because a lot of my friends got fucking, lost what was getting by.
Yeah. I actually, like, I didn't want to make a political statement about what you
no,
thought.
I don't like
but
you
what,
either,
what
yeah.
I was curious was, if I make a statement that's even moderate about things like human evolution or fucking vaccines, the amount of hate I get is so shocking to me.
It's crazy.
That I'm just like, even to this point, I'm like still blown away. So you made this statement about, wearing masks inside of Walmart, and I was curious what your reaction was with the reactions you received. Yeah.
A lot of hate.
Yeah.
A lot of hate. But here's the thing when I come with hate, man. If you leave me a hate comment, just so you know, I'm either going to do one of two things. Block you, or I'm just going to tell you to have a good fucking day. Because when you made that comment, I don't know what the fuck you were mad about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you had going on that day. Your girlfriend might have been bitching at you, and the first video you saw was me bitching about wearing a mask, and you went off on me. I'm not going to judge you for being angry because I was angry when I made that fucking statement.
So you did. I love this. So I've recently, because this podcast, gotten a lot more comments. They're mostly on YouTube. No, not YouTube. A few of them on YouTube. A lot of them on Instagram. And you deal with haters in a very creative way.
Right.
You mentioned this before. It's like,
that's why I love TikTok, because you can't hide on TikTok. You make a video about me, I can screen record it, I can stitch it, I can do a reaction to it, I can duet it. I'll sit there and you might call me the biggest piece of shit ever, and I'll fucking stitch it with me taking a dump and say, you're goddamn right I am. Like, it's just, I like to, here's the thing, because I feel like this is true. I don't care what the fuck disagreements you have with people, laughter, man, that cures so much shit, man. If you can laugh together,
you mentioned
it's good times.
If a guy wrote you look like you brush your teeth with dynamite, you would be like, oh, that's pretty funny.
It's hilarious. That's such a good comment.
That's what I was hoping for, because I've had some hate videos made about me, and they're not creative. And I was just like, dude, put in some more work. Like, there's one guy, he made this like fucked up video about me, and I literally wrote him at the bottom. First off, I gave him like an affiliate code. I was like, hey, dude, make some money if you're gonna make these videos about me and get paid, right? That was the first thing I said. And then the second thing I wrote him was like, hey man, I'll give you 5 other things you can make fun of me about, but you got to put in more work if you're gonna make videos about me, because he's just like calling me names. I'm like, dude, this is beneath you. Do better. You know,
dude.
I really wish if you were going to insult me, like, be more creative about it. You know,
yo, if you insult me and it's funny as shit, bro, I'll fucking shout you out. That shit's hilarious.
100%, I would do the same thing.
I'm a fucking comedian, bro. I go on Twitter daily and just pick a celebrity and start ripping into them. Why? Because it's funny. Like, that's why Snooki fucking hates me. Fucking one joke on Twitter, she just hates my guts. But the thing is like, learn to fucking laugh. Laugh at yourself. I laugh at me all the time. I'm a fucking fat piece of shit idiot. Like, if you take anything I say for value, what the fuck's wrong with you? Get some fucking therapy. Look at me. I'm a fucking ex-drug dealer, ex-strip club DJ who fucking makes shitty music and fucking makes silly videos with fucking titties. And you take my opinion, whether it be political or about science or about religion, to heart? Get therapy.
Yeah, that's really funny. Were you? Listen,
Come at me creative.
that one
Be
video,
creative.
that one video I saw on YouTube. Were you actually banned from the Playboy Mansion? Or was that a joke?
No, I actually got banned from the Playboy Mansion.
Okay, so I need to know the story. How did you get banned from the Playboy Mansion?
Okay, so we.
By the way, it doesn't matter now. There's no Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, there's
so,
no Playboy
yeah.
Mansion anymore. So years and years ago, I think it was a cumulation of a bunch of things and a bunch of videos I made. Because on Vine, I kept trying to get invited to the Playboy Mansion.
Just ask me or ask kindly.
Dude,
We could have got you. We could have got you in the Playboy
I'm
Mansion.
so weird. I like to do things myself.
Yeah.
I don't like to ask people to get me in places because I feel like that's weird. You know, like, we're like, hey, can you get me in the Playboy
By the way,
you know?
it's not a famous thing. I got invited because I threw a bikini competition with Crystal Hefner. That's it, right? And then
that's cool, though.
Also, the parties there
She's
were
hot.
the parties there were not managed by Playboy. They were managed like some outside promotion company.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just like showed up with 100 girls, you'd be able to get in. Like Barry Bly had a list for the Playboy Mansion. Like that's actually how you get into the Ignite parties and the other stuff. It's not a fun, like there is a part of it like being famous, but it really is like it's not a meritocracy. It is who you know. Like that is how it works.
See, like, that's the other thing is I don't really try to get into places like
course.
that because, like, I don't feel like I'm famous. I feel like I'm popular on the internet. That's like being that's like being the fastest rat in the maze that you can't get out of. Either way, we're still all trapped, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I don't ask for stuff like that. But what happened was I made a couple videos, and of course my videos are raunchy, and I was making them about the Playboy Mansion, and then all that stuff started coming out about, you know how they were saying that it was dirty. And there was dog pee everywhere because all the girls would just let their dogs piss everywhere.
Yeah, it was
And
problematic. And there was also wildlife there.
getting run down,
They had
you know?
well, the house was built in the 70s, or actually the house was built in 1929, and you could sell like there was a lot of. It just wasn't a new mansion, but it was an iconic place. But the other problem was that you had monkeys, like you actually had like live animals running around there, and there was some dangerous. I felt like from a biological standpoint that you could have some problems having that much wildlife there.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, also, man, like you have a house where thousands of people
That's the
are
other problem.
in and out
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah, that was the other problem.
How in the fuck do you expect to keep that shit like perfect? But anyways, I made some jokes about that. And then I had a video deleted off Vine, and I stood outside the Playboy Mansion with a fucking huge sign that I made that just said "Poon or Bust." And I started dancing around, and I stood out there for a good like 4 hours, just high as shit, laughing, smoking a blunt, having a good time. And then my manager calls me the next day after the video got deleted, and he goes, "So we got an email for that party you wanted to go to stating that you will not be attending at all and to please stop trespassing."
Do you have the email?
Oh, bro. It's, I have
you keep it,
Dude, that's like
screenshot
the
it?
Vine days.
I would love that.
I'll have to find it, man.
Please find that email.
It's from my old manager. I'm not with them anymore, so I
Yeah.
don't even know if that's the right email.
Yeah.
But shout out to you. You were a good manager, but, you know, we just had different aspects.
Yeah.
I wanted to make OnlyFans. You didn't. Bye.
Yeah.
But anyways, so other things like me and my friends, we lived so close to it, we would always go film videos outside of it. And they had to be getting annoyed with us. But in my brain, I was young. And I was thinking, yo, if I annoy them enough, they're finally going to be like, let him in. This guy's not going to stop. And that was not the case at all. And then we just made a rolling joke out of it that I kept getting kicked out of the Playboy Mansion. And it really hurts my soul that I'll never get to go.
No,
that was one of my dreams, man.
We'll work it out. There's a new company that I'll talk to you off air.
Like, it's one of my dreams.
It won't.
Wait, you can't tell me stuff like that. I'll be 33% hard this whole goddamn podcast.
It won't be the Playboy Mansion, but we'll talk off air.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, so let's talk about this. Talking about Playboy, our common friend Stephanie Jean Myers Yance, kindly.
Oh, okay.
She wanted me to ask
These are
you.
her full name?
I do.
Oh my God.
Stephanie Myers.
I've
Yes.
never called her anything but kindly.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you kindly. She is a former, I believe she was an NCO in the Army. I think she was E4 or E5 in the Army. I can't remember what she told me.
She was a fucking badass.
She was a badass. All right. So she wanted me to ask you if you can do the llama impression and see if you can record it.
Fuck you kindly. So kindly.
By the way, I thought that's what the name of your show should have been, kindly. Instead of thank you, it should have been fuck you kindly instead of thank you kindly, and it would do really well. I would definitely go on that show.
I can't wait to be on Kindly's podcast. That's gonna be.
I wait. Start your podcast.
I gotta have you on my podcast.
Yeah, please. 2 seconds, I'll come to you because then I can tell you the stories.
Oh, I'm excited for that
for sure.
So a lot of people, I've known Kindly. She's one of my oldest friends, man. I've known her damn near over a decade, and she's such a cool person, and she's more than just a pretty face. She's funny as fuck, and she is a badass. But when we drink, she does this thing, and I think she only does it with me, but she does a llama impersonation, and she just goes like this. That's what she does. So when all these dudes who are staring at me because I got this hot ass fucking 10 beside me, maybe 11 and a half, you do look good, Kindly, got beside me, and she's sitting there going, oh! People start staring. So it's one of my favorite things she does when we're drinking is her llama impression. I'd probably look like a fucking idiot doing that. Someone's going to make a meme of a dick going in my mouth. I know.
No, you weren't facing the camera, so they didn't see it. If you want to do it.
Wait, where am I facing? Right here?
Right there.
Well, you got to turn your head to the side.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. This is the lava. All right. There
it is. Chase, we have broken the internet.
There's going to be a dick meme in my mouth. Kindly, fuck you for asking that.
It's so funny.
Fuck you, Kindly.
All right, so I want to skip around because
Sorry if my eyes look dark, guys. I dress up for Halloween. I go ham. It looks like I'm wearing like eyeliner.
Nah, you look great.
But
man.
These lights are bright, so these Versace glasses are gonna have to work.
Oh,
what happened?
Your cord is in your
I'm
glasses.
so baked. What the fuck's going on?
Look at this.
I'm so
your cord is stuck.
I'm so stoned, bro.
Oh my god. All right, well, this is a great topic.
Do you want a gummy?
No, it's good. It's good, so here's a great topic. Let's talk about. You have a fetish. You have an interest in serial killers. I don't know if
I'm a fetish with serial killers. I'm not dressing up like Charles Manson, fucking chicks down. You know what I mean?
So I have some. I've done several podcasts on psychopathy. We talk about this on this podcast, antisocial personality disorder, which is if you look at Ed Kemper, Albert Fish, Ed Gein, John Wayne Gacy, Paul Mueller. I don't know if you know who Paul Mueller is. I want to tell you about that. Jeffrey Dahmer. These guys all were sociopaths, and a lot of people don't understand because they think the way it works. Have you ever read Mindhunter, a book by John Douglas?
No, but I like the show.
The show is based off. It's the main character is John Douglas, but they changed his name to Ford something. I can't remember what his name in the show. Right. And that has to do with the Behavioral Science Unit in 1974 in the FBI, and they started profiling psychopaths and serial killers, and the way that they would come up with it. You talked about it on one of your interviews about the triad. The triad is pyromania. Wetting the bed and and hurting animals, and there's always like dismembering animals, and there's always usually some weird disassociation, some weird relationship with their mother. That's generally when you look at all these serial killers, you find that to be the case. Even when you go back to Jeffrey Dahmer, you'll see that is the case. So one of the things that I thought was interesting. First off, I want to recommend for you that you read the best book I've ever read about serial killers is about a guy named Paul Mueller, and it's called The Man on the Train. And basically, what had happened was in the 1890s all the way till 1900, there were these murders all over the country, and no one could figure out who the killer was. But they were in individual municipalities thousands of miles away from each other, all throughout the South, in different places. But the thing that they all had in common is there was a railroad right next to them, and several African Americans were hung for these murders because they were just looking for someone to pin on them. There was no FBI back in 1890, so they weren't able to put these together. And it was actually a baseball historian who went back and got newspaper clippings from hundreds and hundreds of newspapers back in the 19th century and was able to find out in all of them killed with a left-handed killer with an axe. They were able to determine how tall the guy was. He would ejaculate on the bodies. And they were able to put these together. No one was able to put these together until this guy did it. This guy killed 115 people.
What?
Yes, and nobody talks about him. The least he killed, at the minimum, he killed 40. But they've been able to tie 115 murders to this guy. And his name was Paul Mueller. I know, it's crazy. He's not the record holder. Gacy had killed 33.
Right.
And again, this is something that I review a lot.
Gacy might have killed more, man, because that house was under being dug for long.
Dahmer was 17. Ed Kemper only killed his mom. I don't know if you know about Ed Kemper. He cut his mom's head off and had sex with it.
Oh, yeah.
but it's really interesting. Albert Fish actually only killed 2 people that he was, or Geen killed 2 people, but he was digging up bodies, and then he was making furniture out of some of these bodies.
His doorbell was a human nipple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff like that, and it was just really interesting, because the Jeffrey Dahmer thing had come out recently. If you watched the show,
it's so good.
Okay, so at the very end, do you remember the part where, do you know? It's a really weird transition here. So when they cut open Albert Einstein's brain, they actually found that there were more folds in his neocortex than normal people, which they were able to relate probably to his ability to have higher cognitive function. Okay, there's a guy named Charles Whitman. Do you know who he is?
No.
I believe in 1963, he climbs up on the tower, 28 floors up at the University of Texas at Austin. He kills.
Yeah.
He kills 12 people. People don't realize this. He put bullets in 39 people with a bolt action 308.
That's accuracy.
That's unbelievable. But when you think about like how many people are shot before you get to 39,
and that means his reload, his recoil, all that split seconds. Seconds. The intelligence and the sheer concentration he had to have. Not saying it was a good thing at all. Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But man, he had to be of such high intelligence and either such.
Well, he was a Marine. He was a Marine.
Okay, now he's trained as a motherfucker.
When they cut his brain open, they found a tumor on the back of his head about the size of a hand. Okay, he had just killed his wife and his daughter like right before he climbed up the tower. The reason why I bring this up, do you remember at the end of the Jeffrey Dahmer show? Remember they burned his brain,
right?
And they were like, well, and then remember what the judge says. It was one of the most upsetting part of the whole show is they said we shouldn't even try to know why stuff like this happens. And the reality of the situation is, back then, we had not mapped out the human genome. We did not understand how neuropathy works. We didn't understand how neural pathways worked. I think we will be able to, in the future, pick out psychopaths before they go off on this killing spree. And to be fair, for all the psychopaths watching, 99% of people with antisocial personality disorder do not become serial killers. That I was just interested because I heard you talking about this, and I was just wondering if you've actually looked at any of the stuff about these cluster B personality disorders with people.
Like, that's the thing is that like people, I like serial killers, and I have since I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with learning about Gacy and Ramirez and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Manson and all this.
Ramirez, the Night Stalker in East LA. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, especially the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
Just the way he toyed with police. Like, it used to just intrigue me so much.
So 100% of sociopaths are narcissists, but not 100% of narcissists are sociopaths.
Oh, well,
that's why they want you to, if you go back to all these different things, Dahmer kept getting sloppier. He wanted to get caught. Right? The same thing with Gacy, with the clown thing. Like, there was all these... The BTK killer. There was a signature and MO. There's these things that came, and obviously Manson is the greatest example of a sociopath being a narcissist. That's what the thing is. What the point I was trying to make is there is a science behind this, and we act like there isn't. We act like these people are just straight evil. No, it's a mental illness. Go ahead.
The fact that we didn't look at Dahmer's brain, like you said, is crazy.
Yes, that's my point.
Because we could have literally, over these years, from the time Dahmer's brain could have been looked at,
yes,
we could have diagnosed what medication could have helped.
Yeah.
What could have helped stop those neurons from firing in that certain set. But we'll never know because till we get another Dahmer.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That sucks. But that's what intrigues me about these people is what makes them snap. It's not the fact that what drove them to it. It's the fact that things that people say or do, the human brain just intrigues me so much because I'm obsessed with knowing how my brain works.
Yeah.
I wonder why I think things and why I am the way I am and why I think about certain situations and why I get anxiety and why I get depressed. Well, I think these certain things about these people, like some of the things Albert Fish used to say. When they asked him why he did what he did, and he goes, I don't know what it is. I just see a child walking down the street, and I think, what do they look like inside out?
Yeah.
That a brain thought that thought.
But here's the thing.
That's crazy.
Here's the part that's crazy. What's going on is not them being malicious or evil. The part that lets you know that that's malicious or evil doesn't exist in their brain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the neural pathways. So when you think about highest level cognitive function, lizards don't feel empathy. Lizards do not take care of their young. the taking care of their young is an evolutionary adaptation in mammals,
Right.
which comes from our neocortex. So it's a higher functioning process in the brain. Does that make sense? So you would imagine people who have deformities, like you may have a physical deformity, you have a brain deformity that does not allow the neural pathways for you to feel a conscience or empathy. And when you have some of these people, some of them aren't bad people. Some of them are police officers. Some of them become politicians. Some of them become doctors. There's a book. It was written by this one cardiologist. He was a witness in the book. He admits to being a sociopath, and it makes him a better cardiologist because to him doing heart transplants is just a game where he wins and then he gets money. So he's not wrong. So he's a fantastic cardiologist because of it. There's military commanders who talk about looking for snipers that are sociopaths because they don't feel anything when they kill people. They're just hitting a target. It's a really sick part of the human experience, but people don't understand. Sociopathy had to exist somewhere in human evolution. Otherwise, we would have bred all the sociopaths out. There was a necessity for them in our ancestral past. But it just these discussions become really crazy because then you get to the point where when you take monozygotic twins and one of them becomes a sociopath, the other one does too, which indicates that sociopathy is genetic. It's not, what I'm saying is the things that led Bundy to becoming crazy, the first thing was that he was a sociopath, and then the other things led to him becoming a violent sociopath. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it was a bunch of different things. If you look at all the situations that happened with Dahmer, having the mental illness, his mother was mentally ill.
Right. A lot of it has to do with their moms,
correct,
which is crazy, But here's the thing that blows my mind, and I watched a documentary on this, and God, I can't remember the name of it, but they were talking about how many serial killers and psychopaths like these ones that we, glorify, have never been caught and will never be caught. Because you got to imagine, there are billions of people on this earth, and we have only found made documentaries about less than 1%.
But we're fascinated by Ed Gein, and we're fascinated by Dahmer. But why are we not fascinated by Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan killed way more people than any of these people.
I don't care what you fucking say right now. Guess what? We are all the motherfucking same. I don't give a fuck what you believe because we all got Genghis Khan blood in us. Did you fucking know that? Genghis Khan banged so many goddamn fine bitches that all of us have some of his DNA in us.
The reality of the situation is 1/2% of the male population shares the same Y chromosome with Genghis Khan. That's a real number.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom! Drop the goddamn mic.
Yeah.
Wow, in the podcast. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. or Joseph Stalin. We don't consider Joseph Stalin to be a serial killer.
He was ruthless.
But yes,
Bro, he was ruthless.
It's the same kind of thing when you think about it. It's the same mental mindset. Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini were not able to form empathetic function, which caused them to politically it was an advantage for them.
But what I'm saying, people even like that, and sociopaths who could potentially be serial killers.
Yeah.
Man, how many are out there? It could be anybody, but they found a way to stop those feelings. Maybe when they're younger, they took out 3 or 4 people, but they were so good, and they never hit that point where they kept going and got sloppy.
Most of them aren't violent.
Never know.
Most sociopaths aren't violent. We're talking about serial killers.
Which I understand. Yeah. But I'm saying, if you look at the world's population versus the amount of people like Dahmer, Gacy, all these people we found, very small. That's just because, like you said back in the day, when the train killer killed that many people, we didn't know about him until today because of advances in technology.
For sure.
I'm saying in 2068 or 69, just because it's funny, 2069, you're telling me that we want to advance to where they'll be like, did you know in 2020 there's one guy who killed 14 people and never got caught?
Yeah.
But we found out because of DNA?
Yeah.
That's what's crazy to me. You never know 40, 50 years from now what crazy shit today during this podcast they're going to find out.
Pretty amazing moral conundrums that happen when you start scanning a kid when he's 10 years old, and we can see that the child does not have the capacity for empathy.
Yeah.
What do you do with that child from a moralistic standpoint? You know that this child has the capacity to be a sociopath. So what happens then? That's one of the things that becomes very very weird. By the way, do you know who the record holder is? A lot of people don't talk about this. This is a guy. He was a hospice nurse, and he's pushing 210 murders. and somewhere in that area. You guys should look it up. But the problem is, I think he was only convicted for like 16 of them. He would put crimps in the oxygen hoses for people in hospice, or he would change their medication.
Oh, he worked at an old folks home.
Correct. And he had probably he had been fired from like 6 of them. What had happened was they realized that he had done these things, and rather than admit fault, because they knew that they'd be sued by the family for letting this hospice nurse kill their loved one, they're like, well, the guy, Mr. Smith was 86 anyway. This guy they're talking about, they're coming up on 200 murders that this guy had. Please, by the way, it's in the same book, the Man on the Train. The same book talks about this guy. He's the record holder. It actually isn't the Man on the Train. Man on the Train got around like somewhere between 110 and 121.
I thought it was H.H. Holmes or any Rambo movie. I was really confused.
Yeah, but it was a hospice nurse who had probably killed 200 people. Yeah,
man, that's fucked
but
up.
in the UK, by the way, this guy was he was British. Yeah, you guys should look that up. This has always been a fascinating thing for me because
H.H. Holmes, he took out a couple hundred, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know.
You know who H.H. Holmes is?
I'm not sure.
H.H. Holmes is America's first serial killer. He found a hotel, killed the owner, and took over the hotel and hid bodies in the walls.
I didn't know this. Okay.
So my buddies had a band called This Castle is a Tomb. Because that was the headlines way back in the day. It said This Castle is a Tomb.
Yeah.
Because they just started pulling bodies out of walls, out of floors back in the day, I thought he had the record, H.H. Holmes.
So the reason why I went down this path was because we're not going to say his name. A certain individual that I had encountered maybe 10 years ago here, who has maybe a house that was invaded by the FBI. When I encountered this person and then later on watched his behavior, I was like, wow, that's not a normal human. And then I
meet people like that, and I just watch them. I'm like, yeah, they feel like a sociopath.
No, it just feels like I'm talking to a lizard. And it was one of these things where here's the reason why I bring this up. The whole point of me having this conversation. What you think when you hear of Jeffrey Dahmer is you think someone who's a 10 on the bad scale, the evil scale.
Right.
And what you don't understand is that like they're not of course they are a bad person, but it's a neurological disorder. There's a difference between a shitty guy and then a sociopath. And a lot of people don't realize this. And the reason why is because they watch The Sopranos, they'll watch Breaking Bad, they'll watch Mad Men, they'll watch these different shows where it's a sociopath who loves his kids. Or it's a sociopath who comes and he does the good deed at the end. It's Jamie Lannister who pushes the kid out of the fucking window and then later like saves the town.
Right.
People like that in real life don't exist. Sociopaths are sociopaths 24/7, and they're not redeemable. There was no medication that would have changed Jeffrey Dahmer because he never had. It was almost like you lose your arm and you're like, okay, grow an arm. What's the medication I can take to grow my arm back? If you do not have the function or the ability, the neural pathways to create empathy, it never shows up later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean.
So you work in show business. You're surrounded by people, and you don't realize they want something for nothing. And you're like, oh, I thought that was a really bad person. It's not a bad person. You're dealing with someone who has antisocial personality disorder or someone who's a narcissist. Like Amber Heard is not a shitty girlfriend. Amber Heard shit in a bed and then lied about her husband beating her. Like that is a narcissist. That's someone with borderline personality disorder. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to make the distinction.
I have a different agree. I think Amber Heard's a piece of shit. Fuck you, Amber Heard. Fuck you.
Well, but the point I'm trying to make is there's a point to where like your boyfriend.
No, I get your point.
Your boyfriend cheated on you. He's a bad dude. Your boyfriend's a narcissist. That's a completely different discussion. And people conflate those two ideas. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a difference between a sociopath who could go off the fucking rails and just a shitty motherfucker.
Or a shitty person and a sociopath, there's a difference. Like there's some people out there that've been hurt and so they hurt people. That's different from, or somebody who suffers from PTSD, right? And that's the whole reason why I bring it up. But I just thought it was fascinating that you had a fascination with these serial killers.
And speaking of PTSD, back in the day, I was filming a show, and they had a guy working on this show that I was on, and he was a big fan of mine.
Yeah.
And he was ex-military, and I did not know that he had really intense PTSD.
Yeah.
And he got really angry because I didn't shout him out and post his videos or pictures he took with me, because I'll take a picture with anybody, so hanging out with him. But I didn't know that. But he started stalking me and the girls and making death threats and all kinds of stuff. But I can't be mad at this dude. Yeah, it pissed me off because you're threatening to kill me. But this dude, something's wrong with him. And he's seen some bad fucking shit. And I have enough friends in the military to know, and my family in the military, the things they've told me they had to see and do. I don't know how the fuck they get out of bed in the goddamn morning
Sure.
and not think about that shit. So I take that into consideration. Even though this dude's pissed off, he's not a bad dude. He's just having a bad problem.
So let's talk about that specifically.
You know?
PTSD is not genetic. Obviously, it's post-traumatic.
Right.
So it's not genetic, and there are treatments for it.
Right.
There are treatments for narcissism. They're very difficult to pull off, but there are treatments. There are treatments for borderline personality disorder. There's treatments for bipolar disorder. There are no treatments for sociopathy. None. Zero.
Really?
You put them in jail, you give them the chair. There's nothing. Yeah, it's really crazy because people have a hard time with this. They want to believe that Tony Soprano would like murder all these people indiscriminately and then come home and love his wife. And that type of person doesn't really exist. And that's what was so dangerous is that people want the redeemable sociopath. There is no redeemable. If you're dealing with a real sociopath, there is no redeem. There was no like later on, what's his face? The guy with the Ponzi scheme who ended up dying. God damn it, what's his name? I can't remember right now.
Ponzi scheme.
Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff doesn't come out later and then do the comedy special.
I was going to say the ShamWow guy.
Right.
I thought we were talking about the ShamWow guy.
Well, but Bernie Madoff's a sociopath. Like, whereas I don't think that what's his name, Jordan Belfort is a sociopath. I think Jordan Belfort just did a lot of drugs and just did some.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Correct.
I want to be him. He's just so cool, calm, and collected on TikTok. He's just sitting at a table going, yeah, I fucking did bad shit. Fuck you. I like that guy.
Isn't it crazy? He 15 months in federal prison. Now he's like even more famous. It's just incredible.
Dude. And one of my friends, Alex, was in that movie. She's one of the top shelf hookers.
There you go.
Alex,
there
you
go.
badass motherfucker.
Speaking of which, can you talk about your fascination with Nicolas Cage?
Dude, I want to meet him so bad, but I swear to God, he's going to think I'm a psychopath. Like, here's the thing, man. Listen, I've had a wild life, man. I've been homeless. We lived in trailer parks. I've fucking slept under bridges. But when I was young, man, all we had was Tales from the Crypt, VHSs, and my mom had Con Air, Face Off, and Raising Arizona.
There you go.
I watched those 3 movies so many times, and they made me want to be an actor so bad, because to me, for him to be able to play a dad and then to be able to be funny in Raising Arizona and then go to Face Off and you're a dope ass fucking villain. Like, you were so fucking cool in Face Off. And then Con Air, like, put the money back in the box. I made a song that literally is a Nicolas Cage song. I want to meet him so bad because and the fact that everybody gives him shit, like, I hate it, man. I hate it so bad. Nick, I'll punch someone in the fucking mouth who tells you make too many movies. Because it's true. The dude's job is to be an actor.
Yeah,
so
for
what
sure.
if he makes B movies? The dude likes making movies. I'll make a $200 movie. You want to pay me to be the main actor? It's a good script. I'll do it. My main goal, everybody's like, you just want to be rich and famous. Fuck no. I just want $1 million in the bank. That's it. That's all I care about. Because Nicolas Cage's lowest rate to get him in a film is $1 million.
So that's what you wanted for.
That's all I want. That's all I want. The only reason I want to make money. Because if you give me $1 million and Nicolas Cage says yes to being in one of my movies, I will make the greatest comedy film ever. You know how many titties will be in this movie?
Listen,
you know how many titties will be in this movie?
those of you who are watching, listen, Nicolas Cage lives here somewhere in Vegas.
Oh my God.
And you guys offering $1 million. We can make this happen. Somebody, one of
What's my
fans,
Cash App? Everybody.
Let's do it. Can we get John Orlando? Can we get I know you know Nicolas Cage. Can we get him in here somewhere?
I will probably pass out, throw up, and shit blood if I ever met Nicolas Cage. Just tell him to wait 10 minutes till I wake up and we'll have a good conversation. He's just, to me, man, he's just a hard worker, and he's funny, man. And he's himself. He wears he's like me, man. I wear pink leather jackets. I look like a dog's dick walking around most of the time, but I fucking vibe with it. And that's why I like Nicolas Cage so much, man. He's just a vibe, dude. He is him.
Yes.
The weird Nicolas Cage, he doesn't hold shit back. He doesn't have any social media because he doesn't care. He's like, I'm going to do what I want. The dude might go to an award show in a Speedo. That, to me, is a cool motherfucker.
I think the two things I think people don't realize, one of the strangest facts is, one, that he was in Greece.
Yes.
I don't think he had any speaking lines.
No.
And his last name is Coppola.
He's
Francis Ford Coppola's son.
And it was like too hard to spell, and they didn't, think
Well, he didn't want to
off.
become famous because of his dad.
Oh, his dad as well. Yeah. And Cage was such a good name. You know what I'm saying? And he liked Johnny Cage. So that's fucking awesome, Johnny
Beautiful.
Cage is great. Because why he doesn't play Johnny Cage in the new Mortal Kombat? Beyond me.
What an incredible idea.
Beyond me. But no, it's just, it's one of those things, man. I have a lot of respect for the dude, and when people hate on Nicolas Cage, I'm like, yo, so he was in a B movie. Fuck you. Are you in a B movie? Do millions of people watch you? Eat a dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I want $1 million. That's it. That's my main goal in life, to make a fuck it. I might just pay him to come be on my podcast. That's worth $1 million to me. To fucking get in Nicolas Cage's mind
That's
for an hour.
That's a great idea. Okay, so you have this ability, when you plan out your content, when you do your TikTok videos, how much planning? Because again, like I'll go back to the ones where you're in the Walmart and you have the Snapchat filter or whatever.
Right.
You did like 20 of those. It seemed like you go back to back to back. What is this like? We're hanging out with you. Are you frantic? Or you're like, okay, here's the idea, here's the idea, here's the idea. How many of them get shot down? How many of them, like, how does the creative process work for you?
So when someone shows up to film me, and this is the reason, it's a blessing and a fucking curse. I can't turn my brain off. And I constantly, since I was a kid, when I was big growing up, I was a bigger dude. I realized to make people laugh, everybody will like you, no matter what you look like. So my brain, since I was young, has constantly everything's a joke, make a joke, do a joke. So when someone shows up, they're like, what skits you have? I was like, okay, I have the bone structure of 3 or 4 ideas.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a type of person, once I get to know your personality and we talk for like an hour, I'll know what you're okay with. So my brain works. All my content is 90% of it, if it's not a written out skit with props and we have shots lined up and dialogue written down, 90% of my content is me just being me and my friends hanging out.
Yeah.
So I'll whip my phone out with you, and because I know you're, ex-Air Force and stuff like that, I'll just whip my phone out and think of something. I'll be like, all right, man, let me ask you a question. Would you rather suck 1 dick 10 times or 10 dicks in a row once each to completion?
Definitely the second one.
Yeah, right? Because after
Just get it over
after
with.
sucking a dick 3 times, there's a connection. You can't say
but
that.
the thing is, you don't get gayer after the 4th dick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that makes sense. You get to the equal amount of gayness after the first one, and then the second dick is like, you're not more gay. Get it over with once. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you bust it out. Like, get through the shit.
Definitely do it all at once.
But that's how I am. I
would need some of those edibles that you got.
That would work. Yeah. I'm a spontaneous person, and I vibe in the moment.
Yeah.
So if we're somewhere and we're watching boats go by and a big wave hits us, I'm instantly going to whip out my phone and my brain's just going to go turn to you and be like, I should call her.
Yeah.
Because water just splashed all over her face. But that's how my brain works.
Sure.
So that's why people hire me. And a lot of me and my friends write stuff for other TikTokers. So, when you see these big TikTokers and you're like, they're so funny. I'm like, actually, it's us who's really funny. They really are not that funny. That's why they hired us. But when I do content with somebody, the stuff between me and the girls, 90% of it, it's not written or staged. That's just us being friends, because I'm friends with all these beautiful women I work with. And the reason is because that's how I treat them, like a friend.
Yeah.
That's why we get such good content, is because it's just me vibing with my friends. It doesn't matter that my friends are porn stars and we're about to film a fucking dope ass solo scene and put every hole's about to get filled with shit. It doesn't matter. Me and my friends are just having a good time, and I want you to be part of it. That's what I mean?
I would love. Here, I already got a TikTok for you. Ready? Here it is. You're filming that, and then me and Kindly are reacting to what's going on. But we're describing.
It's just y'all's faces.
But we're describing what we see. But
can we put you guys at a table in like sportscasters outfits
for sure.
with a green screen behind you?
Like, so the unedited version goes up on OnlyFans.
Right.
And the edited version is
just y'all's
Kindly
faces.
and I and our reaction, and then we're describing what happens. Well, 100%. I think that would be great.
Bro, I wish you guys would have been there like a couple months ago. We painted our friend like a clown, and we did a whole circus show, and we put a big ass butt plug in, and then we took bets with everybody of how many balloons we would have to tie to it to pull out the fucking butt plug. I betted 27. It was 39. I was so pissed off. You guys have no idea. I was so mad. I was close. And Donnie, he fucking nailed it. I was so mad.
Donnie doing things.
Donnie does things.
Donnie does things.
He's known as content candy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's great. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Very cool. Do you have any that stand out to you, man, that are like the funniest the funniest ones that you've done? Either the content you've done where it was, well, first off, have you ever had TikToks that you did or Vines where that you knew it was just going to be too raunchy and you just weren't going to post this?
Listen, anybody who does social media, this is my rule that I live by.
Yeah.
If I say to myself, should I post this? The answer is no.
Okay.
If I have to ask myself that question, I'm like, put it on Twitter. Put it on Twitter. Classic Low Life. That's where you find my Twitter. That's where or put it on my OF. Try the classic OF. But that's where I put it because there are other social medias that are made where you can post that shit.
Yeah.
So every time I go, man, should I post this on TikTok?
Yeah, it's not.
And I
worth,
learned because I get shit pulled down all the time.
Yeah, it's not worth losing. I've took everything with a girl in boobs. I took it off my TikTok for that reason. Yeah.
And there's ways around it. There's ways around to find it. There's ways around to post stuff, but some things you just got to go, no, shouldn't post that. You can see the shadow of my dick. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So were there funniest interviews like that you've done on the Chat Show?
Man, on Total Chat Show, man. I have 2 podcasts, man. One's my older one. I don't add any new episodes because I used to have co-hosts named Kenny and Meg.
Okay.
And it's called Shit Could Be Worse.
Okay.
And you can listen to it. It's a podcast with my friends, but my new one's called Total Chat Show and everything. And man, I interview some of the most insane people and some of the stories that have been told to me. It's just insane. To pick one favorite one is nuts, but there was one where one of my friends, you know him, is getting his dick sucked the entire podcast, and he does not break eye contact with me, and it is the most awkward shit ever to me. He literally is just getting his dick sucked, and he's looking, he's like, nah. So, I had a fucking Honda once. It didn't really drive that well, but the door stuck, and just never breaks eye contact.
Travis, do you want to go on his show and try this?
You just want
Do you know what? When you record, yeah, I'll be there. We'll see what's going on.
Did you break character like watching this?
Oh, fuck yeah! I could not keep a straight face.
What was the girl from Montreal?
No.
He wasn't married.
No,
to her?
not that guy. Not that guy.
Okay.
But hey, dude, it's so crazy because I love my podcast because the girls are so comfortable with me, and we're friends. So they'll tell me these funny ass fucking stories. But man, there's been just so much wild shit. But some of my favorite skits is I do shows as well, and I put a lot of work into my shit because I appreciate guys. If you take the $14 a month it takes to subscribe to me, I appreciate that. And that's a shameless plug. I'm just letting you guys know I shameless plug all the time. Fuck you. I work hard. But I have shows like Porn Stars, where I own a pawn shop and girls bring in used dildos and sell them, but we got to bring in experts to test out these things because I had the Joan of Arc's dildo come in the shop, okay? I have a show called Genital Hospital where me and Donnie Does Things got plastic surgery and we got turned into fucking females and then we had to figure out how to use our new body parts. It was pretty good, but I made it entertaining. You remember that show VH1 where the pop-up bubbles used to come and tell you facts? We got facts slinging at you during these fucking scenes. I feel weird ass shit, man. I feel weird shit. I have a video where I'm Mr. Fantastic and my dick stretches across the house so I can have sex with a girl. I do weird shit. So when you say, what's the weirdest thing you've done? I don't know what weird is to you.
Oh my God, dude.
I also have a show called Hitachi Trivia, #1 game show on Alaskan public cable.
Oh my God, bro.
All right?
Yeah. I think my contribution is I could just react to what you're saying. Oh, is this the new blood bucket? Awesome. Oh, God.
I want to meet one day, because here's the best part about my club.
Yeah.
Did you get to pick your dancers' names?
No. I had to help a couple of them because you remember Sunday day shifts where the new girls come in and they would ask me questions like, how do I talk to the guys or stuff like that. I would help them, but no, I wouldn't pick their names.
Well, see, the owner loved me, who owned this certain strip club.
Yeah.
And I was the top DJ that got like taken around and everything.
Yeah.
So when new girls, he made it very clear that Charles has last say on what you dance by, period. So many times girls would come up and be like, oh my God, my name's Sparkles. And I'm like, no, it's not. Your name's Revolver and you'll be on stage in 3. All right, guys, we got Revolver up in 3. I had Revolver, Jane Doe, Machete, Saturn, Euphoria, all these girls that I come up with their names. Man, one day I'm going to meet a girl who will let me call her Blood Bucket go on stage and dance to Blood Bucket. You're out there, and I know you're out there, Blood Bucket. Please DM me and let me make this dream come true.
We had one girl named Memory. We called her Misery. Yeah, that was bad. Those were the days, bro.
You know what I used to do with girls who didn't tip me? I would turn all the yellow lights up high so it showed all the cellulite.
So guys, for those who don't know, every girl, what do they always want the blue light?
The blue light.
Yeah. So every girl even the hottest girls want blue. But the yellow light makes them look like it just shows off all the flaws.
Cellulite,
they get so
everything.
mad at you when you show the yellow light.
So I would play that. If they didn't tip me, they would all the yellow lights, and I would play Dude Looks Like a Lady by Aerosmith and Frank Sinatra Jingle Bells. And I would play it so low that you could hear their heels clanking on the stage. And then at the end of the second song, I would just look at the girl on stage from my DJ booth and mouth, tampon. And then they would run off stage. And I'd be like, tip me $5 again, bitch, when you made fucking $2,000. Let me see what happens next time.
Dude, we've definitely had the red alert happen on stage before. One girl had the white bikini on, and then the red alert happens. Oh man,
bro, this chick who I hated named Barbie, who made me, she danced to 2 artists, Nickelback and fucking Seether. That's all she fucking danced to. I hated her. Bro. She's the main reason I hate Nickelback. But she had this trick where a guy who would come up to the tip rail, she would dance up to him while she was all naked. She would grab his hat off the top of his head and she would rub it on her pussy. For some reason, she thought pussy stank on a hat was a strip club fucking good time, which it wasn't. Okay, no one wanted pussy stank on her, especially not Barbie's pussy stank. She looked like someone kicked in the side of a rotting hog carcass. Like it was fucking horrifying. So fucking this dude was up there and this guy had a white hat on. And this bitch just walks up, grabs his hat, slings it up her fucking flesh goddamn, lips, and puts it back on his head, bro.
Axe wound.
Axe wound. Yeah, slings it up her axe wound.
Slap hole. Is that the one?
He has a red strip down his white hat. And I'm sitting in my DJ booth and I'm like, oh my God. And a floor guy comes up and he goes, do we tell him? I'm like, fuck no, we don't tell him. Are you fucking nuts? I was like, he's spending money. We don't tell him. Just give him a free hat and tell him complimentaries of the DJ and take the other hat and run away with it. Never let it be seen again. And the words out of the floor guy's mouth, he looks at me, he goes, you want me to go grab that pussy blood hat? And I was like, wear gloves, you're a fucking adult. The things that happened at that fucking strip club. But yes, she did that so many times. I would lose my mind if someone got period blood on my hat. I don't care how hot you are. I don't give a fuck. Hell no. I'll take that shit to the fucking cops and I'll tell them, I figured out who the fucking Zodiac killer is. Arrest this bitch. Y'all got DNA. Don't ever do that to me. Sorry, I'm ranting.
I think we got to end here because I'm so excited to see you kick in the side of a rotting pig carcass. Dude.
I'm so sorry if this podcast went awry.
It did go right. Travis, we're not monetizing this one, right?
No, I don't think YouTube will let this exist, maybe.
Is this why I get in trouble on YouTube all the time?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
Listen, you've made a lot of people very happy today. I'm trying to think, like, Shar, my social media manager, like the TikTok clips for this, like, I can't even begin. There's got to be 40 of them.
It's literally going to be like a big L album on the radio. Just beep, 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 beep.
Morse code.
Morse code.
In Morse code, I'm saying I love you.
I can't believe this. All right, man. Where can we find you kicking in a pig carcass?
All right, check it out. Shameless plug real quick. I got a new album that just dropped called Soundtrack to the Doomsday Orgy. Dropped this week. You can check it on Spotify, Apple Music, all that fun shit. If you like getting a little raunchy with weird-ass motherfuckers like me, you go to the good old O of the F, the spicy site, and you search Charlie Classic. You can also find me on everything. Just search Charlie Classic. There's a lot of fakes out there, but nobody's this motherfucking ugly. So come hang out, have a good time, and listen to my dumb ass do dumb shit.
So on TikTok and Reels, we'll see some of your short form content.
Right.
And then on YouTube, you have like clips, like not collaboration, but compilations of like a lot of your stuff.
Well, no, those aren't mine. People
some
just
other people are
made
making those.
from
That's
Vine.
amazing.
My YouTube is Mr. Charlie Classic on YouTube, but that's where my music videos are.
Oh, got it.
And
Okay.
I also, every music video I drop a spicy unedited version on my OS.
And then on OnlyFans, it's where you do your podcast, but then there's girls naked.
You
doing
can
things,
see the podcast
doing
like
thing-
this one, you know,
doing
but-
things to each other.
Yeah, doing stuff and having a good time and just, you know.
reading books to
I
children
did
with
put
cancer.
googly eyes on a vagina for an entire episode and
my
talk
God,
to the
bro.
vagina. I don't know if you've ever interviewed a vagina. It's weird. It's a good
I have not.
talker.
I have not. All right, man. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Next week we have a quantum mechanic, quantum physicist on, and we're going to be
How the
discussing.
fuck are you going to go from me to a quantum?
I'm just kidding. We don't have one next week. Pastor Charles Smith of United Baptist Church is going to be our guest next week, reacting to this episode. We're really excited about that.
Me too.
I'd say, so Kindly's like afraid to go on a podcast. Kindly, I want you to come on my podcast. Obviously, this is a safe place for you.
Kindly, I'll come on it with you. That way you feel super.
Attend. He will attend the podcast.
I will attend it.
Attend it. That's what he meant to say. He's not going to come on the podcast with you.
I mean, forget no. That she's my friend. That'd
Of course.
be weird.
Of course.
But it's still. Wait, are we talking about cum?
Okay.
This is the only shirt I had without that
Thank you
on
guys for.
I'm sorry.
Thank you guys for joining us. Oh my God, man! Embrace the chaos. Embrace the chaos. Thank you, man. You okay? He's just laughing over there.
You sure you don't want a gummy?
No, I'm good. I will have a gummy after this. I haven't eaten today. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, Ben, this has been great. Like we zigged and zagged. We actually have. I want to bring you on. We have the flat earthers on. That would be really awesome.
Oh, God.
If you one of the co-hosts. And it could be add some levity to it. Guys, for real, make sure you guys check him out on TikTok. This stuff he does is really funny. For him to get 1.7 million, that's crazy fast that you got all that many. And the stuff on there that you do is really creative and really funny. And you're unapologetically yourself, which is really great to have somebody like that on the podcast. So I really appreciate you doing that. And we'll definitely check out your podcast, like you said, the Chat Show
Total Chat Show.
Total Chat Show, which is on OnlyFans. Guys, I'm trying to I got 6 guests lined up. I'm trying to get as many as I can to get us through the holiday weekend. We got some really incredible people coming on. Thank you all for all the people who've been checking out the live stream. Access Vegas. Maybe you should come on Access Vegas. That would be a really, really great idea.
I'll come on anything. I don't mean that in a dirty way. YouTube, I meant that as a nice Christian boy way.
Thank you guys for checking out the MOA live streams and Access Vegas with myself and Rollo. Man, I really appreciate the growth. Has just been absolutely dramatic, and all the new guys have joined Men of Action in the last couple months. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you all next week.